Participants, welcome to day 2 of the Green Technology for Mitigating Climate Change 1-month certificate course organized by Amity Institute of Environmental Sciences. Today, as we delve into our second day of this intensive course, our focus remains steadfast on a topic of utmost importance: waste management and circular economy. These concepts are not merely buzzwords, but essential pillars in our quest to combat climate change effectively. So, as we all know that climate change presents one of the most important challenges of our time, it demands not just awareness, but active participations and innovative solutions. Environmental degradation and escalating carbon emissions are realities we face daily, underscoring the urgency of sustainable practices and green technologies. Our certificate course stands as a beacon of hope, aiming to equip you, our valued participants, with the knowledge and skills required to be agents of climate change in the fight against climate. We believe that the intersection of environmental sustainability and technological advancement holds the key to a greener and a more sustainable future. We are proud to be conducting this course in association with the India Meteorological Department, IMD New Delhi, and Leads Nextech India Private Limited, a company which specializes in climate risk assessment and management. This collaboration demonstrates our commitment to capacity building and the proactive pursuit of initiatives that contribute to our nation's welfare. So today, as we explore waste management and circular economy, we will delve into the intricacies of how responsible resource management can mitigate climate change. We will examine the importance of reducing, reusing, and recycling, and how these principles can help us move towards a circular economy where waste is minimized and resources are maximized. So, in the spirit of learning and collaboration, we encourage you to actively participate in today's sessions, ask questions, and engage in discussions. Your involvement is crucial to the success of this course, and we hope that the knowledge gained here will inspire you to take meaningful actions in your respective fields. Once again, welcome to day 2 of our certificate course on green technology for mitigating climate change. Let us continue our journey towards a sustainable and a greener future together. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed participants, it is with great pleasure that I introduce our first speaker for today, Dr. Monica Kaul. Ma'am is a distinguished professor in the Department of Botany at Hansraj College, University of Delhi, and her accomplishment and contributions to the field of ecology, environmental management, and plant reproductive biology are truly remarkable. Throughout her academic journey, Dr. Kaul has consistently demonstrated outstanding performance, from her distinctions in higher secondary and senior secondary education to achieving first-class distinctions in both her graduation and master's degree. Her passion for teaching and research has been evident throughout her career, spanning over 16 years of educating undergraduate and graduate students in the subjects like ecology, environmental management, and reproductive biology. Ma'am's dedication to her field extends beyond classroom. She has been a principal investigator for research projects and boasts an excellent research profiles with many published papers. Additionally, she has authored books on reproductive biology and lab manuals, showcasing her commitment to advancing knowledge in her areas of expertise. Recognized for her academic excellence, Ma'am has received prestigious fellowships, including the fellowship from the Current Science Academy, Vice Chancellor's Fellowship, and Summer Research Fellowship from the Indian Academy of Sciences. Also been invited to deliver various contemporary topics, spreading awareness over scientific and environmental issues. Ma'am's effectiveness as a communicator, motivator, and planner has enabled her to organize national conferences, seminars, workshops, and faculty developmental programs. Her passion for teaching extends beyond the syllabus as she actively involves students in DBT-sponsored undergraduate research projects, field visit, and inter-college quiz programs, along with other scholastic activities. Ma'am, before we begin, we would like to felicitate you, and we present a virtual Tulsi sapling as a symbol of gratitude and appreciation for your outstanding contributions to our community and environment. Dr. Renu Dhupar, Assistant Director, is presenting virtual Tulsi sapling to you. Ma'am, please accept it on our behalf.
Good afternoon, Monica ma'am.
Good afternoon.
We are honored to have you as our first speaker today, and we eagerly anticipate the insight that you will share with us. Welcome, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Harshita Jain, for this introduction. I don't think that this was required, but I thank you really on my personal note for introducing me. Dr. Renu Dhupar, thank you for this virtual planter. I mean, we all love plants, and we know as environmentalists, plants are very important for all of us if we really want to make this planet green and clean. Thanks a lot. And I also extend my thanks to Dr. Juhi, who contacted me for being a part of this entire endeavor of yours. I congratulate the Department of Environment, your faculty, the administration, and of course the MIT University, which is one of the premier private universities in the country and is imparting quality education to people all across the country. So thank you for having me today, and I'm really glad that Dr. Juhi, she contacted me, and it is really nice to be a part of this program. So as was discussed, I was told to share my opinion, share my views on circular economy and waste management. This is the session, of course, which we are discussing today. I know you've been discussing, all the participants here have been listening to eminent people and the interesting topics that are being discussed on this platform. So it's very important that, when we are talking about country being sharing the dais with international bureaucrats and international leaders, it is very important for our country to think of something more important than anything else, and that is environment. So I'm glad that our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji often talks about environment when he's talking politics, because politics can So all negotiations, all international treaties have climate as an important and integral part, has environment as an integral part. So considering all this, having getting the leadership for G20 and spreading so much awareness on various issues on youth, climate change, democracy, environment has also taken a center stage these days. So MET doing it at a point when we are, internationally spending so much of our resources on environmental mitigations and talking about various things. So I thought it is very important for us to share our information, our knowledge on this. I'm sure all of you come from various backgrounds and you're already aware of most of these things which we are going to discuss today. This is just to reinforce, remind ourselves on this very important issue, and it is waste management and circular economy. So I'm trying to focus on solid waste management because, waste is of various kinds and we are confronted with various kinds of waste. So I'll try to restrict myself to solid waste. So thanks, MIT Institute of Environmental Science again. And, very nice of you that you planned a 1-month course. These courses are really important because, people from different disciplines can join in. Even people working in industry, corporates need to know about all these things because waste is generated everywhere, right? From our homes to schools, to universities, to industries, to shops. I mean, all institutions generate waste. They should also have an idea what to do with this waste and how to get this waste into processing and other things. So before I, share my thoughts, I just want to tell you that most of this data, most of this content is already available in the World Wide Web. There's so much of information already available. Some information which I am sharing with you, I have acquired by reading newspapers, attending to various talks. Since I have not worked directly on the solid waste management, I worked on heavy metals, which are also, some kind of pollutants into the environment, but solid waste has not been my topic of research. So I borrow my information from all those people who have really contributed in various ways to this information. Uh, as we always say that environment is an interdisciplinary subject. It is not a biology subject or a chemistry subject or a physics or geography. It is an interdisciplinary subject where we have a lot of sciences involved, of course, but at the same time, social sciences like sociology, even political science, even anthropology, law, and other history has a lot of relevance when we talk about the environmental issues. And today, and present times, we are also trying to talk a lot about what knowledge we had in the past. So we are borrowing some traditional knowledge from history. We are going back to our texts where some knowledge on various fundamental aspects of environment were given. So considering all of this, we understand that waste management also is an interdisciplinary subject, and it concerns us all. It is not science, it is beyond science. It involves sociological thoughts, community thoughts, because everyone has to be involved when we are talking about managing waste. But before we go into how to manage this waste and how to get it into circular economy, I just want to just remind you all of what is waste. I'm sure all of you know substances, objects which are disposed of or required to be disposed of, which are not in immediate use. Substances that have various impurities, substances that can have various, harmful effects. All these substances are called as waste. So waste is any substance or an object which the holder tends to discard, which a person, if I have something which I'm trying to discard as a waste, right? So, Basel Convention, for this first time, these things were discussed in detail. Why should we talk about waste? Why this course, which is intended to raise awareness on various environmental issues, kept a segment on waste management and circular economy, is because of the following reasons. Global waste production is predicted to rise by 70% by 2050. So, 70% increase, you must all, think of it. It needs some kind of an immediate reaction from all of us who are attending this course as well. 70% by 2050 is the predicted rise. It's of concern. Waste generated per person per day average, 0.74 kilogram, right? This is the kind of waste. Unintended, all of us know that when the waste is left, even in our homes, even if it is piling in our backyards or in a community area or in a park, it is an unpleasant sight. It's a burden on economy. I'll relate how it is a burden of economy. So it is all of this, you're seeing a waste on Dal Lake. You go out of a holiday spending thousands of rupees going by flight, and then you see Dal Lake sites all polluted. How would you feel? So it is something, which is also affecting your various, credentials in terms of appreciating the beauty of nature when you see any waste in the natural heritage sites. So waste affects health. As biologists, we know if the waste is piling up, it will invite lots of infectious diseases. There will be lots of bacteria, viruses, fungal pathogens, which will be lying there on the waste pile. And then it will also invite the flies, mosquitoes who carry these pathogens from one place to another. So vectors will also be active. So if there is waste which is left unattended, as all of us are humans, we understand that healthy life is a blessing. So these vector-borne diseases affect all of us, be it children, be adults, and it incapacitates our day-to-day work, and we are affected by in terms of getting infectious diseases. So look at this data, which again is borrowed from World Bank. So you can see how much is the quantum of waste which is generated in various countries: Middle East, Sub-Saharan Africa, Latin American and Caribbean islands, North America, Southeast Asia is the focus. You see, if you look at the millions of tons per year, Southeast Asia, of which we are a part, it has the waste content is increasing. We are also talking about sustainable development goals. There are so many summits, there are so many events which are held, there are discussions held, deliberations, debates on the ways by which we can attain these sustainable development goals. So solid waste management is a key in delivering the sustainable development goals. Why do I say that solid waste management is a key to delivering the sustainable development goals? Because if you look at the goals, see, one is environmental health and well-being, awareness, less diseases caused by open dumping and burning, affordable lifestyle, clean water and sanitation, right? Recycling, innovation, sustainable development goal 9. So I just want each one of you to have scan all these sustainable development goals. Look at goal 3, look at goal 6, look at goal 9, look at goal 11, look at goal 13, look at goal 14, look at goal 15. So all these are related to sustainable development goals. For example, if I say life on land, if we need a pleasant and a happy life on land, we need efficient solid waste management. If I want less diseases caused by the dumping, solid waste management holds the key. If I want clean water and sanitation, solid waste management is important. Sustainable cities and communities, solid waste management is important. So majority of the SDG goals are indirectly or directly linked to the solid waste management. So that's why we are actually discussing it today. Now, again, just to emphasize more scientifically on what I said, solid waste management is to be addressed because there are so many landfills which are lying here and there. They are causing significant environmental harm. Water contamination, air pollution, habitat destruction, toxic substances which are there in waste, which are arrested in waste. They are released gradually into the environment and they cause effect to the ecosystem health. Ecosystem health means causing effect to each and every component of biodiversity, resource depletions, mineral and fossil fuels. Again, climate change. Waste contributes to climate change in various ways. Landfills produce methane, which is a potent greenhouse gas. Then economic costs of management of waste are huge. Again, if I go back to sustainable development goals, I did not discuss it. One of it is decent work and economic growth, right? So if we relate many of these things, we feel that the efficient management of this solid waste can help us in achieving out of 17, at least 10 sustainable goals. So this is something which is really important for us. Sustainability and, G20, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Global sustainability is the focus. We are not talking about India only being sustainable. We are talking about entire world being happy place. So in that case also, in order to reduce the amount and in order to reduce the burden of the waste, if we develop efficient technologies, We can share those technologies the way we shared vaccines with the entire Southeast Asia. We can be leaders, which is our national aspiration to be the global leaders. So just again, to bring you back to where we were, what are the various types of waste? We have that has been characterized into hazardous waste and non-hazardous waste. Hazardous waste includes radioactive waste, biomedical waste, many component of electronics, which we call as electronic waste, toxic chemicals, and industrial waste. And non-hazardous waste includes organic waste, which is our fruit, kitchen waste, etc., plastics, and wrapping materials, not all types, but yes, some of them are non-hazardous. So where are these wastes coming from? Sources. What are the major sources of waste? Mining. Mining is the major source of waste. You see Yamuna banks, there's a lot of sand mining going on. People do in Aravali forests, people are doing stone mining. So all these is contributing to generation of the waste. Pesticides, plastics, manures, that is also adding a lot of agricultural waste into the quantum of the waste which is generated. Industrial waste. As we grow, we need more industries. As we have more industries and more facilities, more waste is generated. Household waste has increased tremendously. You see, all of us are now working, and we have a lot of, we have money. Money has become, and many of the things have become affordable because, the salary structures have also changed. Both parents are, spouses, couples are working. So in a particular household, the purchasing power has increased. As the purchasing power increases, what we do is we are always on phones, and we look at various sites, Amazon and all, and we try to buy as much as we can from the various sites like Amazon and Flipkart and all. On an average, I can say that each one of us will have 3 packets coming in from Amazon in a week. Construction is increasing. When we have money, we want houses. Indians are very much obsessed with having flats, and if you have one, you want 2. If you have 1 car, you want 2. So whenever you have an additional income coming in, you feel like buying a house. So you will buy, people will construct, the demand supply. So as much of construction is happening, you see everywhere, so much of construction and demolition waste is being added. Concrete, plastic, wood, metal, and all this waste, which I just talked about, where does it go? It goes into the natural ecosystems. It goes into water bodies, it goes into soil, which is the most important ecosystem. Water and soil, if they are polluted, we are all polluted because we eat what grows in the soil. Plants take up all kind of, substances which are the end products of the solid waste. And gradually, when we eat the plants, when we eat the food which is actually feeding on the plants, the concentration of these pollutants increases in our body, and it magnifies at each trophic level. So as much as these toxic substances magnify, they become toxic to our health. See, this is some of the data, again, borrowed from various websites, and this is Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad, Kolkata, the metropolitan cities, where majority of the youth goes to find the work. And this is the kind of waste which you see there. So how are we going to deal with all? We need strategies to deal with all. So what are we doing? Are we doing disposal or diversion? In majority of the places, we are diverting waste from one place to another. What we do is we throw it from our own houses into a community area where it keeps piling up. Then somebody comes in, takes it up from there. But this waste is only getting diverted from one place to another. A fraction of it, mind it, only a fraction of it is actually disposed. Now, even if it is disposed, the point is are our disposal strategies fine-tuned? Uh, uh, are they in resonating with what we want to achieve, or there is a gap, or there is a mismatch between what we think we will do and what we are doing? What we are intentionally, you know, we know that we need to efficiently manage the waste. We, in our mind, know that we should not buy a lot of Flipkart stuff because it brings a small thing is packed in a so many things. I mean, for a small thing like a glass, you have 10 packages on it. You have a wrapper, you have a bubble bag, you have something else, then you have a cardboard bag. So each one of us who is attending this program know that we should not do it, but we still do it. So what I'm trying to tell you is that there's a gap in what we think and what we do. So how should we go about it? We have to think of it in a different way. One is that we don't divert it only. We have a very interesting and a very scientific disposal strategy. And also let us bring this waste to some economic gain. So if the waste disposal system is incentivized, if we incentivize the waste disposal methods, probably we can go from diversion and move to disposal. So that is my main theme. So what are the various methods of disposal which are presently in use? Combustion, it converts waste to ash. Mostly incineration methods are used. Landfills are, again, you see Balswa landfill. You must have seen, near Vasundhara, near Gazipur, there's a landfill. So what happens is in that landfill, most often, there are some fires which break out in these landfills because there are some inflammable substances also which are wasted. We think, but the quantity of the heat gets reduced. But what it releases out is more toxic stuff. So nobody is looking at what these landfills are releasing. We think that we have put all the waste at one place and it is okay because landfills gradually get, their size reduces over a period of time because there are so many reactions which are taking place, but they are releasing harmful fumes also. Again, incinerators emit thousands of pollutants, heavy metals, cadmium, lead, chromium, nickel, mercury, zinc, arsenic. Many of these are toxic. And as I said, not only humans are affected, all components of biodiversity, right from earthworms to insects to rodents to birds, all are impacted. When we talk about landfills, where I said that the waste decomposes, of course, on its own, but they emit methane, climate, as I said, burning inflammable substances catch fire. So when the fire is happening, methane emissions are happening. Again, sometimes the waste collectors are caught up in the fires and they can be fatal as well. So what kind of disposal method should be there? So in making waste disposal an effective and a scientifically designed method, we need the inputs from engineers, biologists, technologists, computer scientists, so that first of all, we understand what is this waste. For example, why I said computer scientists, they'll tell us where all this waste is located. Mathematicians, they'll tell us what is the quantum of the waste and how much we need to spend on economics. Economists should also be a part of the team so that they tell us which method is most economical, because it should not be that you have a method which is more costly. Again, it's an economic burden to the nation. So we need to have a team of people whenever we decide on any waste management strategy, which have knowledge of different fields, and they come together, they brainstorm, they give their inputs, and we devise a strategy where we have good constructed and engineered landfills, not an area where you just dump. So in Western countries, you also have landfills, but they are engineered landfill. They tell us how much of waste we should put in a particular day. After what time we should stop this, adding waste to that particular landfill, so that it again becomes useful after a period of time. We need innovatively designed incinerators. As I said, we need inputs from physicists, material science engineers, especially innovatively designed incinerators are required, which can be used both on-site and off-site. We need, well-designed lining and evaporation procedures. We need deep well injections because, sometimes a lot of waste is dumped in the soil. But if there is a lot of waste in the soil, gradually the waste and the toxins will get into our groundwater, because there are groundwater aquifers which are recharging the water. So if these toxic pollutants get inside these aquifers, it's a health burden on all of us. So we need very neatly constructed deep wells. The strategies should be very nicely designed. Then we need inputs from the material scientists. What kind of material should be used for constructed landfills and all. So I just was trying to tell you that why do we need a very well designed aquifer is because we generally cultivate plants in the top layers, and deep water aquifers, we have water which is being pulled up again for reuse. So this figure shows you how deep well injection can help in efficient disposal of the waste. Nowadays, you must have heard about bioremediation. Every day, at least 20-30 papers are published in different journals on usage of bacteria, fungal combinations in decomposing hazardous waste, anaerobic methods of waste generation, phytoremediation, where we are using plants directly to take off waste from the soil. In certain places, we are using consortia, microbial consortia. I have seen the papers of many of your faculty members who are publishing on these aspects. So there are people who are working. There are different scientists in different places across the country, people working in IITs, people working in industries. There are people working in universities like MIT as well on efficient remediation strategies of this solid waste. But these strategies till now have not been tested on large scale. Most of these strategies, I'm sorry to say, are confined to few experiments which are successful. And then this work is translated into a paper. The focus is on impact factor. But do these strategies really work on field is something which we need to look at. How can that be done? That can only be done if you have collaborations. That can only be done because if you want to scale up anything, you need a lot of money, industries to come in. I'm sure some of the participants here are from industries. And also, as I said, incentivizing managing waste, making economy a part of it, telling people that waste management, if done in a scientific way, has a economic gain as well. Because generally, we always look at what is our gain. This is how we think. So if there is an economic gain associated, it will help. So circular economy, as is the topic of the theme, is an economic and sustainability concept that seeks to reshape the way we produce. So even when we are trying to, make a new thing, I'll just take an example of a toy. If we have anybody from an industry, a toy industry, and if he is planning to bring out a new toy in the market, so right from the production stage. Thinking of a circular economy is reshape the way we produce a stuff, a toy, anything, consume it. How do consumers use it? Manage resources to minimize waste. Always at every step, the concept should be reduce environmental impact. The thing, the stuff should have a minimum environmental impact. So in circular economy, we believe in taking, making, and disposing in a way which is a closed loop system where nothing goes into the sink. The waste is circulated again, right? So that we do not require any many more disposable strategies, so that the end product again comes into the loop, right? So how do we achieve this? So for bringing anything in circular economy, the design should be focusing on longevity of the product. Most often we've been buying Chinese toys and all, or even Chinese stuff, which has a very short life cycle, but it is cheaper. We tend to buy toys which are cheaper, but again, they have a very short lifespan. If we buy wooden toys, I went to a market in Kerala, Andhra, South. No, they have all kinds of wooden toys, which I had never seen. A wooden toy has a more, but it's very expensive. If you want to buy a car from a Chinese market, it might cost you 150 rupees. The same car will cost you 550 rupees. So those of us who can afford to buy wooden toys, good make, nice, that can stay in the loop for a longer time. So longevity of anything is very important. Durability is important. Any product which can be repaired. No, Chinese stuff we buy and we throw because we know you cannot repair it. So anything which is repairable is also encouraged. We must encourage all our people to buy things which might sound to be costlier, but because when we compare the initial cost, it is less. But when we compare it with the cost on the environment, which we never account for, the burden in the environment is never in our mind when we buy any stuff. When we buy clothes, when we buy anything for our household, we must account for what is the burden of the environment, not only its cost, which is written there on the label. Reuse and repair. Of course, many of us do give our stuff to our domestic workers. That is also a way of recycling. They give it to someone else, and then this is also a circular economy. You buy, but somebody else uses it. So it is not disposed of there and then. Bring it into the loop. Reduce the volume of discarded items. You will only reduce the volume of discarded elements or items when you buy less. So somehow, I always emphasize that we should not buy things which are not required. We should not keep things which we have not used for the past 3 years. I think it's very difficult for women in the group to believe in this concept because we get so much emotionally attached to a lot of our stuff. But anything which is not used for 3 years should be disposed of. Anything, which is not required should be disposed of. In a circular economy, give it to someone. Resource efficiency, resources are used more efficiently with an emphasis on optimizing material and energy use. What do I mean by this? When you go to Sarojini Nagar market or to Kamla Nagar, you get lots of stuff which is not very expensive. So the students, especially young students, buy a lot of tops and jeans and jeggings and all, thinking that the cost is 150 or 250 rupees. But can you imagine the dye which is being used, the transportation cost which is involved, because they are buying in bulk, they sell it cheap. But because they are making it not in a proper institutionalized way, They are not using all kinds of legislations during manufacturing, during transport. So always keep in mind how much of energy is used in dyeing industry when you get those tops only for 150 rupees. How much of cloth, rayon, linen, whatever, how much of processing is required. And any processing, any kind of manufacturing requires energy, machines. And all this energy is coming from thermal power plants. This is, I said, releasing a lot of harmful solid waste into the environment. So we have to think about all these things. Materials are recycled and recovered from discarded products. We need to streamline the process. So earlier we used to have 3 R's, right? Now we have 8 R's. And I know you all know reuse, recycle, and reduce. But repair, this is a new thing. If something can be repaired, we must get it repaired. At times we think we have money. Why to, repair our air conditioner again? Imagine if you are not repairing your, air conditioner and you're buying a new one as a replacement, how much of environmental burden it is. So reuse was always there. Recycle was always there. Reduce was always there. But recover, repair, regift. Sometimes we don't like the gifts we get from people, right? We don't like the color, probably. We don't like, it doesn't fit us in. So it keeps lying in our this. We can re-gift to our students, maybe, because some of us are teachers in this group. They have any achievement, we can do that. Rethink again. While buying, always rethink. While giving, while thinking of keeping it back because you have some emotional sentiment, rethink and take it out. So reusing means items are again reused. For example, this is IIT Chennai. They have done lots of things with the bottles. Roads are being constructed from these bottles. In many places, people are using these bottles as planters. People are using it in making, walls of certain places. Refuse. We always feel Dil Mange More. Shah Rukh Khan is the ambassador, and he says Dil Mange More. I think we must stop it. We should say that we are satisfied. I already have enough. So start refusing more stuff. Recycle, again, you cannot do it. We need lots of people in the loop in recycling. So in that case, we need to educate people in terms of recycling, conserve natural resources, reduce the amount of waste, increase economic security, bring recycling ways, recycle plastic, recycle polythenes, recycle clothes, recycle. But the recycling procedure has to be, sometimes, recycling is more burden than disposing of. So we also need to use our own intelligence and this to decide on how to, the recycling process should be energy efficient as well, right? Again, what many people in the countries like Singapore and all are doing, they are recovering some materials from the waste. So electronic waste is taken to various units where the more expensive metals are taken out. They have scientifically trained manpower who identifies the material which can be taken out from the disposed electronics. They dismantle, they pre-process, they end process, they recover the final metal. And this is the way how electronic wastes are recovered in many places. Waste wonder. I don't know how many of you have gone to the park in Indraprastha area. So almost 150 tons of scrap was used to develop and build park. So you have an eco-friendly park in many places, in many states. It consists of various things. You have, you know, seven ways to wonderment. There is an IP, near IP, this Indraprasth power plant. They have constructed all seven wonders of the world using plastic and other waste which was disposed of on the landfill. So waste to biomass or biomass, which is extracted from the solid waste, is converted scientifically. Now we have more efficient scientific processes wherein we are using pyrolysis methods, combustion methods, and various methods to convert the waste into biogas. So, how can we really do these things? How were people efficient in building roads from plastic in Chennai? Because some people thought over it. Scientists in Chennai thought over it. IITians put their mind into it that we need to dispose of waste in an efficient way. So in order to develop a strategy which is more sound, more scientific, we also need to assess the waste. What is its source? What is its nature? What is the material which is in more quantity in that waste? How easily and efficiently can we segregate various materials from this waste? The yield and quality of the segregated waste material which we can extract. Economic auditing at every step. See, you just can't say that I'm developing a strategy of waste management without putting your head and heart into it. So the entire source, transportation, nature, efficiency of the method, quality of the segregated material. If you have recycled, what do you get after, indulging in so many processes and assessments? Economic costs auditing is very important. Now we have the polluter pays policy. So if Samsung is replacing mobile phones or Nokia is replacing and getting new brands every time, and people have money to buy them, people say now there's a strategy where anybody who's bringing a product should also try to tell us how this is going to, how it is going to be disposed of after it completes its lifespan. So initially, the manufacturers have to deposit some money in indulging in the entire process of disposing it off. So polluter has to pay because they are making a product. They are telling us to buy again and again through their advertisements, telling us this is a new virgin, and we are forced to buy it. Absolutely, it is of course our choice. Then comes our own consciousness, our own, inclinations and all, our own social responsibilities and all. But at the same time, we get tempted. We are humans, right? If you have a new product coming in, we at times. So it is the manufacturer. It is the polluter. Basically, he's the polluter, and he must also have something in mind, some strategy in mind before he brings a new product into the market. So it helps clean manufacturing processes because now he knows that, he'll have to pay. So he will also indulge in a clean manufacturing process to build a better image of the company, better employment, and better productivity. It reduces cost on managing and disposing the waste because when you have already used cleaner manufacturing technologies, the transition is smooth. It helps companies and industries to meet the standards and meet the international standards also. And it brings down the cost and thus improves the profitability. Infosys is one of the very good companies. Many of us know it is considered to be a good company, also in terms of administration, also in terms of, giving incentives to their workforce and all. But at the same time, I want to bring to your notice that Infosys has a unit in Mysore. They have a very big setup in Mysore. And if you go to that campus where they train people for their business, the entire system is the clear-cut example of how institutions can help in developing an efficient waste management strategy. So everything, it's a zero waste campus, and it is, people say people get certification of zero waste campuses, but if you really go into auditing, I don't think that many of our campuses are zero waste, even though we have certifications. But this is a hard and a very, well organized system where everything is managed into a resource. Waste to resource is their theme line. So they have biogas, they have cooking at the food court using this biogas, they have only battery operated vehicles, solar battery operated on campus. They don't allow any private vehicle inside their campus. Their geysers, etc., are very important. So we must take the example of Infosys. They are leading the way. This is the sustainability report 1920 of Infosys. So they have the strategy, make sustainability part of your DNA. So sustainable development goals are in everything. So we need to have changes in design thinking, housekeeping, business operations, equipment designing and fabrications, novelty and innovation. I think mera time. Do I need to rush?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You can just easily take 5-10 minutes more if you want. Yes, ma'am.
I don't want to take up anybody else's time. So
No, ma'am. That'll be completely fine.
okay. So we need to have streamlined systems where we can have sustainability as a part of all things. Housekeeping to business operations to equipment designing and fabrications, creating jobs. So life cycle assessment is very important. For every product, there should be a life cycle assessment. An objective process to evaluate the environmental burden is to actively understand and identify its entire life cycle of a object or anything. So we need to focus on zero waste cycles, right? So at every stage of the circular economy, this is something which is focused, right? We don't want the waste burden to be added to our environment. So zero waste cycle is what products should have waste labels. So in many we don't even know is the product which we are buying safe or it is not safe. Nowadays, of course, toys have this label, but not many of our products have these labels. In Western countries, they have these labels. So we should have a label on our products, type of waste generated, physical state of the waste. Would it generate liquid waste or a solid waste? What is the composition of the waste which will be generated out of it? Is it flammable? Is it corrosive? Is it toxic? So if we know what kind of waste and all we are releasing from any product, we will be more cautious. Of course, those of who are cautious individuals, are socially responsible individuals, will think about all those things. Also, Government of India has made strong regulations now. Solid Waste Management Rules 2016, Plastic Waste Management Rules 2016, E-Waste Management Rules 2016, Biomedical Waste Management, Hazardous Waste Management, and recently construction and demolition waste was something which was not addressed, and it is also now very important. So Government of India is doing its work by making laws, putting legislations, but it is for us as individuals, as society people, to think how to get everything in order, because government cannot do everything. It is the citizens, it is the young students, it's the research scholars where intervention has to come from. Better design, better energy efficiency, less use, more eco-friendly methods of remediation. These all solutions are going to come from young generation. Again, some of the young students have started up NGOs. So these are some of the NGOs, Nemo E-Waste, Sahas Zero Waste, GEM Environment Management, Citizen. I just got it while I was searching. These are some of the NGOs which are exactly working in universities. They also have to play a role. Universities like Amity University can be a leader in the private sector, in industries. See, you have Stanford University, which is a zero waste campus. So we all of us can look back, look into the literature and see how they are doing all this. And we can replicate the models or modify the models according to our geographical conditions, according to our own, where our campuses are there residing. I mean, Stanford University is considered to be a very efficient campus. So let's all look at what they are doing and try to take best out of it. Maybe we can leave some of the things. We can leave rest of the things. Take the best and leave the rest. That should be our strategy. That doesn't fit into our goals. So these are the references that I used for this presentation, just for your this. So I think, thank you. And, you should never doubt that our small contributions cannot make an impact. Even small contributions from us as individuals, us as institutions can bring a change. So let's all together try to bring out these changes and support our country, the global world, to do away with the waste, so that India tries its best to achieve the sustainable development goals, and we become leaders and show way to the entire world to manage various kinds of solid waste efficiently. I thank you all for patient hearing, and I don't know how much I have been effective in dealing with this topic, but I tried my best. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. We want to express our heartfelt gratitude for sharing your knowledge and experiences with us today. And thank you for your exceptional contribution to our deliberation on waste management. We look forward to the future opportunities to collaborate and learn from your expertise. And your insights have not only enriched our understanding, but also inspired us to take positive actions towards environmental conservation and education. Thank you, ma'am, once again for your invaluable contributions to our event. And ma'am, we have a few questions in our chat box for you, ma'am. May I read them for you?
Yeah. I can read if I can see the
Oh,
chat box. Then
yeah.
can I see my chat box?
I'll be.
And
There
we
is
can
a
just
more-
read it for you. You can just
Okay.
answer. It'll be
There
easy.
is a more option in the panel that is there with options. And when you click on it, you can see an option of chat that is coming. Meanwhile, I read the question for you, ma'am. So we have
No, I
one
can read it.
question.
I can read it. Okay.
Okay,
There's
ma'am.
a question, ma'am. What key policy changes or regulatory approaches do you think, Anchal, what key policy changes or regulatory approaches do you think are essential for promoting more sustainable waste management practices on a broader scale? Anchal, I think the policies are in place, and Government of India has a strong regulatory framework. The laws, legislation, major waste management rules, all have been defined. I think what is required is innovation in the processing of the waste, innovation in the material which we are using. So the regulatory procedures are in place. Only, there are some small scale industries which are not following the rules. Also, there is a lot of I don't want to point it out, but we all take it lightly. If it is not our problem, if it is not very much confined to our own households, we will not we don't even indulge in anything. So we have to become responsible citizens also. So to be very precise, the regulatory approaches are there. We have very good policies, very good standards which have been laid down. But sustainable waste management needs practices. We need scientific, innovative solutions. Because if the material which we are using is not biodegradable, what can you do about it? So scientists need to uh, define and design new materials. We also need more effective processes of decomposition. So I think scientists have to play a key role in designing new things. Second thing is, I think each one of us as citizens, responsible human beings, need to think before throwing anything into the ecosystems. So, and essentially as students, as researchers, we must develop strategies which are only not confined to paper publishing. We need to have something which can be scaled up. That is something which should be done. Juhi Gupta, ma'am, do you think imposing penalties would bring any positive change? I don't think that, when we say that, it is like spare the rod and spoil the child. This was the practice,
Yes, ma'am.
when you don't hit your children, they listen to you more. It is essential to hit our children to get them on track. But this strategy doesn't work. We have seen it. So it is same. If you put more penalties, people will find out ways to do away with these penalties. So I think legislations are in place. Only thing I think is raising awareness. And you talked about corruption. A lot of corruption has reduced in many things. Of course, we are not corruption free, but most important is what the problem is, that there isn't circular economic thing happening. The loop is not complete. There are leaks in the loop. So those leaks have to be fixed. And one of the leak is corruption, of course. But I don't think that penalties are going to work.
Ma'am, but mainly, say if we are not imposing any penalties or we are not making any regulatory framework for it, then we cannot expect the people to change just in a day or get awareness just in a day, which is why all these penalties came into place. But again, it comes with another problem, that's corruption, because people definitely
Mhm.
finds their way out.
See, I agree with you that that it is important to have something very strict.
Yeah.
But imposition of penalties, what will happen is those who don't have connections and all, they'll be caught. Those who have will again be left free. So as a teacher, since you are a researcher, we are teaching. I think gradually, it will not be a fast change, but gradually, if we have better materials, if we have better processing, if we have energy efficient practices for management of the waste, that will do more good than the penalties.
I get it.
So,
So-
why not invest on S&T more?
Yeah.
And S&T along with awareness. See, as
Mhm.
educational institutions, this is what we can do.
Generally do. Yeah, that'll be much more
Yeah.
easier for us.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
So if there are no more questions,
No, ma'am.
then we can.
Thank you, Monica ma'am, for sharing valuable information on this platform. And I think all the students get benefited from your presentation, which is based on the waste management. And this waste management is one of their course paper in both BSc and MSc programs. So your presentation is very beneficial for our students, ma'am. Thank you very much,
so
ma'am.
much. And thank you,
Thank you
Dr. Julie, again for inviting me. Thanks.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation. The presentation was really good.
Thanks. Okay,
Thank
bye.
you, ma'am.
All the best, all of you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
ma'am.
ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
So can I leave now?
Ma'am, it's your will. If you can just stay for all the other speakers, you can just stay
I
in the
told you that
background.
I'm out of station. So
Yeah, you can just stay in the background. Otherwise, you can just keep carry on.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, our second speaker today is Dr. Pranata Hazra, a distinguished remote sensing and GIS analyst at Leeds Tech India Private Limited. Dr. Hazra's expertise in the field of
remote
and
sensing
GIS
and
is truly
GIS is
commendable,
truly commendable.
and her
And her
contributions to our
contributions to
understanding of
our
climate
understanding of
change,
climate
disaster,
change, disaster,
and environmental
and environmental
sustainability are
sustainability are
invaluable.
invaluable.
She holds a
She
PhD in
holds a
remote
PhD in
sensing
remote
from
sensing
Birla Institute
from
of
Birla
Technology,
Institute of
Mesra,
Technology,
where she
Mesra,
embarked
where
on a
she
journey of
embarked on a journey of
specialized research in
research in the
application of
application of
satellite remote sensing
satellite remote
technology.
sensing technology.
So our second speaker today is Dr. Pranta Hazra ma'am, a distinguished remote sensing and GIS analyst at Leeds Nextech India Private Limited. Dr. Hazra's expertise in the field of remote sensing and GIS is truly commendable, and her contributions to our understanding of climate change, disasters, and environmental sustainability are invaluable. She holds a PhD in remote sensing from Birla Institute of Technology, Mesra, where she embarked on a journey of specialized research in the application of satellite remote sensing. Her primary focus has been on monitoring snow and glaciers, critical aspects in the context of climate change and disaster management. Her expertise extends to time series based analysis of meteorological data, where she employs statistical techniques to decipher climatic trends. She has also delved into the intricacies of two-dimensional modeling of glacier lake outbursts, a subject of paramount importance in the Sikkim Himalayan region. In addition, she has applied thermal remote sensing techniques to various environmental challenges. Notably, Dr. Hazra has made significant contributions to the field of solid waste management through the utilization of geospatial technology. Presently, her work focuses on agriculture, examining the impact of climate change and disasters on this vital sector and exploring ways to enhance sustainability through geospatial technology. Before we begin, we would like to felicitate ma'am, and we present a virtual Tulsi sapling as a symbol of gratitude and appreciation for your outstanding contributions to our community.
And
I request the
I
team to
request the team to keep
Dr. Julie the
Dr.
floor from
Julie the floor from AIES accepted.
Ma'am, we are honored to have you as our speaker today, and we eagerly anticipate the insights that you will share with us. Welcome, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much for including me, and I'm very happy to be the part of this beautiful 1-month certificate course that is on green technology for mitigating climate change. Special thanks to the Amity Institute of Environmental Sciences for including me in this journey. And I just attended the last talk by Dr. Paul, and it was really very inspiring and very knowledgeable. So I will not spare time, and I will start my presentation.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so is this screen visible?
Yes, ma'am. Your screen is visible.
Okay. So today's topic of discussion is space tech for solid waste management and sustainability. So since sustainability is the most important topic right now, and by sustainability, what does it mean? It actually means of improving, or fulfilling our goals or our lifestyles without compromising with the future needs. This was the general definition that was given by the United Nations. And what the importance of sustainability is basically is to continue the function of our Earth's ecosystem as it is in the present, and so in such a way so that it can carry forward to the future generation. It is also our responsibility to maintain the fossil fuel resources for the future generation, for the future uses, maintaining the balance between our lifestyle and the demand and within the nature without harming the nature, saving different animal species, plant species, except for, apart from the human race, other animal species and plant species are vital part of our natural ecosystem, which should be maintained. And for last few decades, it has been inevitable that the climate is changing. So thus the atmosphere, it is getting damaged by our activities. So it is also the part of the sustainable lifestyle to maintain this, to repair this damage, to preserve the clean air, non-toxic atmospheric condition, maintain the growth of the resources, maintain the water quality for our own benefits and for the future generation, maintain a clean livelihood, etc. So these are the certain goals. There are 17 goals are there, which in 2015, 195 nations agreed to maintain these goals for the sustainable development lifestyle for better future, and introducing and maintaining these goals and achieve these goals in their countries by 2030. So in order to fulfill these goals, there are certain things that are part of today's discussion, which is sustainable waste management. These like affordable and clean energy, responsible consumption and production pattern, then sustainable cities and communities, climate action, life below water, life on land, good health. These are the part of maintaining a sustainable lifestyle and for meeting our present goals without harming the nature and creating a better place for the future generations. So all total 17 goals are there. Since our focus is on solid waste management, which is also an integral part of the sustainable goals. It is not one single part. This is the part of different goals altogether, which will help us to maintain the sustainability of our earth. So already Dr. Cole has elaborated very clearly about waste, different types of waste. So I'll give very brief introduction about this. So I have, in this presentation, I have segregated them in two kinds of waste. One is solid waste and one is liquid waste. So basically, since our presentation is about the solid waste, so any non-liquid, non-soluble solid materials which are generated from our human activities in residential or industrial or any commercial areas or from any institutions are part of the solid waste. The two pictures are very scary, and they are the disposal solid waste disposal site, one in Delhi, another in Kolkata, and there are many other dumping sites are there prevalent all over the countries, and they are source for pollution, air pollution, soil pollution, water pollution, many kind of diseases. Everything is there. So one can say, look, being a human being, the most intelligent creature on earth, what have we created here? So according to one statistics, India generates around 150,000 tons of municipal solid waste every day. And it's our latest stats. So it is quite scary that being the most intelligent creature on the earth, we are not able to handle right now the waste we are creating. So these are some I have just the classification of different kinds of waste. There are wastes from domestic uses, there are industrial and commercial wastes, there are e-waste, then there are organic matter, the glass, paper, there are plastics, there are toxic wastages, the flammable, radioactive, infectious waste, everything is around us. So then why we need solid waste management? So basically, as already discussed, so these wastes are kept like as a landfill surrounding us in any metro cities. Outskirts of any metro cities, you will find a place which is a dump yard or dump location where wastages from the entire city or outskirts of the cities are being dumped over the years, and that has become a place of very bad odor, and from there toxic gases are being produced. There it creates air pollution. It already contaminate the water underlying. There the soil gets polluted. Various like flies, mosquitoes, and other insects spreads their diseases from these places. It affects the biodiversity all total, and in short, it also degrades the natural beauty. And not only beautification, it is detrimental for human health, and it actually it harms the ecosystems also if we do not manage it in a proper way. So there are certain methods for the solid waste management system. One is landfill, which is the most commonly used method. The wastage trucks come and they collect the garbages and they dump in a selected place. And over the years, these lands are filled with different kinds of wastages. From there are some wastages from the commercial, from the domestic, from day-to-day life. And most of the thing you can see there are plastics all over there. There are plastics, which is a very harmful wastage, which do not get decomposed over time. The another method for is incineration for solid waste management. Here, the various hazardous materials get destroyed at very high temperature, but to avoid the contamination, but still it also emits thousands of pollutants in the air, in the natural environment. Other method is the vermicompost method, which is used by, where earthworms and other microorganisms are used to decompose and break the material, the waste materials into the uses of to generate fertilizers for agricultural uses. Then there is composting, which we can use in our home also, like the vegetables, the unused vegetables, the rotten vegetables, their peels, everything can be, the waste products can be used mixed in soils, and they can be produced and as as fertilizers and biofertilizers, and that will be a very helpful method for the plants to accumulate nutrition without the uses of any chemical fertilizers. And there are then recycling methods. Nowadays, the government has introduced many ways to segregate the plastic waste, the glass waste, the metal waste for further refinement. There are some challenges in solid waste management system. First of all, there is insufficient infrastructure and lack of knowledge in people for segregation of wastages right from our homes. What we see that after the waste is generated from a home, people accumulate it in one place, then they throw it into nearest garbage can. Sometimes they don't even bother to throw it in a garbage can, they just throw it on the road or any open place they find. So sometimes the municipal workers who are there, they collect it without any prior knowledge, they accumulate it with other flammable waste, sometimes with batteries, sometimes many things. They don't segregate the things properly. Without proper training and lack of infrastructure, this is a major problem. Although the municipalities in the urban areas, although the municipalities collect the garbages, but there are very few waste management institutions in our country which properly channels this thing in a matter to reuse or recycle in a more energy efficient way. So this is one of the one of the challenges in solid waste management. The workers who collect the wastes, they are also in the risk, or they are also very vulnerable of getting contaminated from these wastes on a regular basis. They earn a very lower fee. Their salaries are very low, and they help us in, I mean, almost sacrifice, I must not say the word sacrifice, but they are more vulnerable in terms of contamination than others. But their wages are very, very low. And there are lack of human resources and limitations of technology for proper waste segregation, recycling and everything. So these are certain challenges in solid waste management. So now, what we as a people from remote sensing fraternity can do for space-based solution or managing solid waste. See, as earlier discussed, solid waste management cannot be achieved by applying only one form of discipline. Like for solid waste management, we need biologists, we need chemists, chemical engineers, we need environmental engineers, as well as the help from space-based solutions like remote sensing technology or from drone-based technology can literally help people or the decision makers to maintain a proper policy and to carry out things positively. So I must say what do I mean by space-based solution? The space-based solution basically includes the satellite remote sensing and the use of aerial photographs or drones or GPS technologies. Here, the satellites gets the sun is the ultimate source of power or energy. So with the electromagnetic radiation from the sun, the earth absorbs it and reflects back its energy, which is captured by the satellites or the aerial image, I mean the airborne platforms or the drones. And these images get stored in satellites, and from the ground control stations, we get the imageries, and then we can monitor the places, the required spaces, and can analyze what is the changes that is going on in those places or what can be done. The remote sensing technology or the remote sensing technology is the backbone of space technology or the drone-based technology, where we acquire the information from the ground, and it helps in monitoring us the natural resources, how that is being used, whether it is being exploited, whether there are further space for growth of cities or roads or any dump yard sites, or is there any river that is getting polluted, or is there any things that can be that should be maintained, or is there any forest that is getting removed in terms for the expansion of agriculture. These things can be monitored by using the remote sensing technology, and that is the beauty of the technology. One need not to go every time to the spot or to the field. With the help of the remote sensing technology and with the basis of time series analysis, we can actually see the change of a place in terms of its land use, in terms of forest coverage, the vegetation coverage, whether it is a disaster affected place or there's a river, is it getting polluted or not. These things these things can be monitored by using the remote sensing technology. And GIS based analysis, which is the part of actually map making, which is actually much more understandable if we say it is a map, it's map producing component. Like we have information of a particular place in different layers, we have their attributes or information, then it can be it can be integrated into different types of data with its geospatial locations and layer of information, and then it can be put into visualization by in the form of maps or in 3D scenes. That is the beauty of the GIS or the geographic information system. Now, with passing time, there is a change, or there must be, I must say, an evolution of technologies in solid waste management. Earlier, it used to be paper maps or manual drawn maps or manual analysis, where a group of surveyor or people had to go to a particular place, had to measure it manually and then note it down. Then with the advent, with time, their digital maps, then GIS based maps or geodatabase, these things came up into picture, and things became smoother and less time consuming. Over the time, by the boom of mobile technology, mobile GIS mapping and disaster mapping, everything came into being. People from anywhere, anytime now can do location-based services. They can upload their problematic areas or any particular point of concern in any domain, or there are sites specifically where they can upload real-time information or real-time picture, and it is easily accessible to sometimes civilians, to decision makers. And thus remote sensing and GIS based technology can be used in solid waste management, because with the help of remote sensing imageries, the digital elevation models, etc., or land use land cover maps, we can actually create the landfill site or dumping ground for optimum, by using the resources in an optimum manner. And then we can maintain the record that what type of waste are being disposed of in these grounds, what is the quantity, what is the time, how many, what is the exact location, and then we can create a table, or then we can create a portal where we can demarcate the exact locations of the bins, which is controlled by GPS. So their exact locations are shared with the people, those who are associated with waste management. Then we can make an attribute of records of the waste bins, what kind of waste materials are being dumped over there, whether they are properly cleaned or that or not, whether the person or the organization that are associated with this waste management system are properly monitoring or not. These things can be followed up by using the remote sensing and GIS method, and supervising will be super easy, and there will be real-time update of what is going on over these dumping sites. So I will share two slides regarding, one is use of remote sensing techniques, how the landfill sites can be marked while we are using satellite remote sensing technology. Like, there are certain criteria which should be maintained when we are choosing one landfill site for dumping our wastes, because they are basically very toxic in nature. So like the waste dumping ground should be far away from the human settlements, taking into account for the growth of future settlements. It should be closer to major roads, so that the trucks or those heavy trucks or the garbage cans can be easily fly through those roads. It should be far enough from the agricultural land so that soil does not get contaminated. The water table should not get contaminated. Otherwise, there will be magnification of those harmful chemicals into the crops as well as into the human bodies. And everything, the soil permeability and the condition of the groundwater table should also be concerned. So these informations, and with the help of the satellite imageries, can be integrated together in a remote sensing and GIS based software or platform, where it can generate some suitable sites for the generation of the landfill sites. And those optimum sites needs to be further verified on field with the expertise opinions. These sites should be selected. Nowadays, another common method has been used by using radio frequency ID based trash bin level monitoring, where the use of radio frequency enabled waste dustbins with camera, the help of GPS and GSM or GPRS networks, which can monitor the day-to-day activity. Like, every bin is now radio frequency enabled. In some part of the world, this method has already been started. It is not fully operational in India till now. When the truck approaches towards the bin, it gets notified that which bin, the ID of each and individual bin, the weights containing in the bin, and the camera takes the picture of the bin before and after cleaning out the bin. So and its location is also get monitored. So every information is then pass over through the use of GPRS network to the main control room, and the monitoring goes on seamlessly. And on the other hand, these are some techniques. On the other hand, scientists all over the world are trying to locate the trying to control or trying to locate the plastic pollution in the oceans by using some remote satellite imageries, where various spectral bands are available. By using different sorts of mathematical equation and the help of the satellite imageries, they are able to locate the plastic pollutants or the series of plastic pollution from the satellite imageries, which is helpful for any country which have larger coastline, and they can monitor it. They can take necessary steps to clean their ocean, their surrounding areas. And these are some like plastic index. One study has developed plastic index using the near infrared channel and the green band of Sentinel images. These are some of the papers and formulas that have been used. And with the help of the drone technology, these some other monitoring can also be done where illegal dumping sites is, whether there are illegal dumping sites, whether people are throwing garbages here, there, anywhere. So this can be also done with the use of drone technology, where drone images will be captured, and drone images are usually of high resolution. And when the images get transferred to the main station or the main control room, it can be easily monitored at which location the materials have been dumped, whether it is whether what are the materials, the area of the area that has been occupied with those waste materials, the volume that can also be measured from those drone-based images. And lastly, I must share this imagery. I recently saw this image that is about the plastic pollution. It is about approximately 1 million tons of plastics are added to the ocean every year. And till now, total estimated plastic waste is about 67.5 million tons. So whatever technology we use, whether we use any space-based technology, whether we go on ground and on ground, or use our intelligence to control the thing, we should change our behavioral pattern first in order to manage the solid waste. After all, the waste started growing from our own home. When we ourselves consume less or consume only that amount of things which is actually necessary for our own benefit, only then we can start reducing the generation of waste from our own side. So this photograph is from, I think, this is the actually a country-wise division of plastic generation, amount of metric ton plastic produced over the years. And lastly, I must say the use of 3 R's, the reduce, reuse, and recycle for the waste management system, because we have only 1 Earth to live. And for the use of sustainable development or sustainable lifestyle, we should think before we purchase. We should think before recycle it, whether we can reuse it, whether we can reduce our consumption. We must think before we act. That's all from my side.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We want to express our heartfelt gratitude for sharing your knowledge and experiences with us today. And your insights have not only enriched our understanding, but also inspired us to take positive actions toward environmental conservation and education. Thank you once again, ma'am, for your invaluable contribution to our event. Thank you for taking out time from your busy schedule and joining us for the session. Thank you so much, ma'am. Do we have any questions for ma'am?
I have one.
Yes,
Just,
ma'am.
you mentioned about RFID tagging for waste management, for the bin management, basically. Ma'am, in my
Actually, I couldn't hear. There was some noise outside.
I'm talking about the RFID tagging that you're saying about the waste management of the bin management, right? So
Yes.
I have classes during which we actually teach about this, that there is a possibility of it. But ma'am, almost 70 to 80% of the class generally complains that the dustbins or the bin collectors that generally come in the morning, they don't have the segregation bins. They don't have any much technology associated. RFID tagging is something that they cannot even think of, that they'll get it someday. But we are
Yes.
actually talking about such things already in our lecture. So what would be your suggestion to take these things from theory to practical, finally get it into applications?
Ma'am, to be very honest, first, we should educate ourselves how to segregate things in our home. Because in our surroundings, we often see that we take one plastic bag, we dump everything from like plastic to cardboard to vegetable wastage to everything, and they just throw it. I have seen myself, they throw it over the drainage, and the wastewater comes, they just pick it up and they put it in the waste. But the thing is that it is something, the radio frequency enabled beams. These are something, this technology that are also in an experimental state that has not been introduced to in a very civil in the civilian life towards now. Because for that the workers need also to be educated to understand that this is bin number one, this is the thing, this needs you need to do, this you need to that. First, I think we should go step by step. I hope someday in near future, this RFID enabled bins will be available everywhere. Some companies or some organization will be responsible to carry forward this thing. But on a day-to-day basis, first, I think the workers should be taught how to segregate things before putting them into bins.
I completely agree. This is what I actually end my session by saying so, that we should do our individual parts rather than complaining that RFID tag bins are not available or the segregation is not done properly, because we are also not doing much anything for supporting the environment. So basically we can start at our homes and then just look forward to the coming innovations and technologies.
Exactly. I will say something.
So
2 or 3 months back, our municipality workers, they used to come with one van and they put every kind of, be it a battery, be it a newspaper, old newspaper, be it a rotten things, anything, they put it everything in a single van and they will take it out. From past few months, I've been seeing that these segregated bins are there, where they are now consciously keeping things into particular bins, wet garbages in a particular bins, dry garbages in a particular bins. So I think that has been a part of their training, that you need to segregate well before putting it. The workers must have been trained. So it will take some certain times, because these are technological advancement. They also need certain times to grip those things. Those who are working in municipality level, in workers level, they are not that much educated. Hardly they read, that to their local language.
hardly they read, and at the same time, right now their primary concern is to eat at least twice a day rather than collecting waste in this. That's
Yes,
the source of
yes.
income.
They
Exactly I say in my classes.
their motto is to be on time to collect the things. Later they will think about it or something like that. Even I have seen many people, they are educated people, when they are at a certain place in a public place, the garbage bins are demarcated.
Correct.
People don't care. People just, whatever your hand is, they just put it.
Not just that. I recently had a celebration. So I think it was Janmashtami recently, right? So people were celebrating. So everybody was given prasad and everybody was eating. So everybody was given in a paper plate. And there was a bin right there in the garden. Everybody was asked to put it there. But most of the ladies, specifically, I would rightly say this, that I don't know why this is happening, but most of the women were saying this to each other: just drop it on the ground. There will be a person to pick it up tomorrow and put it in the dustbin. Why? Why actually we cannot help that person who's going to clean it tomorrow? We can just do it right now by putting a little effort. It's basically a lot of awareness, a lot of love for the country is required to be developed, which is almost nil in at least 80% of the population. And that's really disheartening, which is why too many lectures which are happening right now, maybe you and I are doing something, but there are too many who are still very refrained from the entire boundary of loving nature or caring for it. Only then we can make any changes.
Exactly, ma'am. And it's very hard to see whenever you go to any tourist spots, especially in the hilly region. You will find many paper plates, cups, kurkure chips packets, everything is there somewhere dumped, and people just dump it there in the vicinity of nature, and that looks so ugly, although they are a separate beings. But
Yeah,
most of the time
they're actually thinking that if I do this, then what is the person who's going to mop it tomorrow or broom it tomorrow? They're actually giving work to them. Otherwise, they're thinking that they'll be sitting very easily, quietly without any work. So basically, they're thinking that helping the nation, they're generating employment for somebody. But that's just a very bad notion, that we are not at all concerned about environment. We're not doing anything. We're just basically talking. We're just basically having discussions. But we need to do this on ground. People need to be aware, specifically the youths that joined us today. They need to do something, which is why this topic can go on and on. I will just read another question for you. There's a student who's asking what all we can do for proper disposal of sanitary napkins and medical waste. And floral waste is also a concern. So any points on that too?
no floral waste nowadays. There are certain, I have seen in social media only, I have not practiced it myself, that people sometimes collect the floral waste. They try it. Some companies are there, some small organizations are there, startups are there. They again dry it, they crush it, and they somehow make dhoop out of it for the use. And that keeps the house clean as per their declaration.
I use the same one. So which is why, yes, there's a company called Fool and Co. So they
Yeah.
actually do this, that they are using those dry flowers and then making it into dhoop, making it into any incense sticks. They're using it all over. Right now, it's very much trendful.
Another thing is, since it is a very natural thing, if you can't do such things, you just put it under a tree.
Yeah.
Some water, it will get
over sometime.
15 to 20 days, and it will be a fertilizer for the plant itself. It is not very harmful. And regarding the medical waste or something, see, there are certain I am not actually very expertise about that also, but for disposing those things, there are certain declarations are written all over the packets, how to dispose it off. And whenever you are wasting, I mean, giving a medical waste or something, that should be dumped into proper places. That is the main thing. But
I
till
would
now,
like to add on this. Whosoever has asked this, till my entire life, I was told, and similarly, maybe I would have carried that further if I would not have read about this earlier. So sanitary napkins are definitely a plus, just because we are much more comfortable while using them from the entire life. We started with them, we are comfortable with them, maybe we'll die with them, but hopefully we can switch right now. There are menstrual cups, right? There are menstrual cups which can be used for the same process. However, they might feel uncomfortable for the very first time. But just think of the bigger goal. Obviously, one menstrual cup for so many months, and almost around 500% more wastage or more sanitary napkins if switched with the sanitary napkin. So this can be really thought of as an alternative. There are tampons as well, but maybe people are comparatively much more comfortable for, like, based on the surveys, people are much more comfortable for menstrual cups. So menstrual cups should be promoted as well, rather than those disposable sanitary napkins. Obviously, even I can feel this personally. It's very comfortable just because this has been the trend from the last 10, 20 years. But we can switch. All the ladies on the call, we can switch. We can try.
Which we can definitely switch. And the medical, the medical waste is garbages. They should be, there are norms regarding disposing of. They should be carried forward in that way only. Although many hospitals, many government hospitals sometimes don't follow the rule, you will find many garbages regarding the outside the premises, and that is very scary to see it.
Again, it's very disheartening. It's all very disheartening that people should be aware, specifically the officials who are taking control of it. Yeah, I think that helpfully answered the question. Are there any more? No, I think we're done. Thank
Okay.
you so much, ma'am, for coming. Thank you so much for sharing your good topic.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Thank you
you.
for such a healthy discussion.
Okay.
Harshita ma'am, I think we can carry on. Please
Thank
stay
you, ma'am.
for the rest of the session in the background.
Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce our next esteemed speaker, Mr. Rakesh Saur, a highly experienced technical consultant in the field of remote sensing at Leeds Nextech India Private Limited. With nearly 11 years of dedicated expertise, Sir has established himself as a specialist in flood hazard risk assessment and the study of extreme climate impacts on flood disaster. Sir's academic journey has been marked by a strong commitment to advancing knowledge in the field of remote sensing and GIS. He holds an MSc in remote sensing and GIS from North Orissa University and is currently pursuing his PhD from the Department of Remote Sensing at BIT Mesra, Ranchi. His professional journey has been equally impressive. Sir has worked as a research assistant on projects funded by Nepal and with the NGO in Guwahati, Assam. His work has extended to collaborations with the NGOs in Meghalaya. Currently, he serves as a technical consultant in the Radix division of Leeds Nextech Private Limited in Noida, Uttar Pradesh. Sir's deep interest and expertise in flood hazard risk analysis and sustainable waste management, flood risk assessment and disaster management studies induced by extreme climate and weather events make him a valuable resource in the field of environmental sciences. And we are fortunate to have Sir with us today, and we eagerly anticipate the insight he will share regarding his work and experiences in addressing environmental challenges. But before we begin, we would like to felicitate Sir, and we present a virtual Tulsi sapling as a symbol of gratitude and appreciation for your outstanding contribution to our community and environment. I request the team to please present virtual Tulsi sapling to Sir. Dr. Anamika Srivastava, Assistant Professor, Amity Institute of Environmental Sir, we are honored to have you as a speaker today, and we eagerly anticipate the insights that you will share with us. Welcome, sir. Over to you.
Welcome, Rakesh sir. Do we have you?
Hello, may I audible?
Yes, sir.
Audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and I'm very pleasant to be here today. And thank you so much to give me the opportunity to say something in front of you all. And today I'm going to say something about. May I can say? Can you see
Yes,
my
sir,
slides, please?
You can share screen. There must be a dialog box in between. There must be an option. You can share screen.
Yeah. Yeah, is it okay?
Yes, sir. So, fine.
So today I'm going to say some important topic today. So today, not only us, everyone everyone, but today world is facing this most challenging topic, which is solid waste management. And today, as the population is growing day by day, and it will surely will be high and going to increase. So the management of solid waste management practices is very much important today, and the efficient way to handle it is very crucial for us. So the topic today I am going to present is the significance of the solid waste management practices in environment sustainable and circular economy. See, so as we all know, and speakers already have said what is the solid waste, or what is the solid waste. So the simple introduction, I'm going to say something. So what is the solid waste? Is the non-soluble in the nature, and also the solid waste can be solid form, in the semi-solid form, or concentrated form. So the what kind of waste we have? There are very much so many waste is there. So solid waste like in the form of plastics, bottles, can, paper, scrap iron, and other traces. And the liquid waste is there also, which is the domestic washing, chemical oils, wastewater from ponds, manufacturing industries, and other sources. Also, biodegradable waste is there. It's in the form of paper, wood, fruits, and others. And in the way, so many waste is there. So there are many types of waste, which is come from industrial waste, come from some agriculture, from hazard waste, and also some waste come from medical, some from radioactive waste. So there are the sources which we can see in the slides, that where are the main sources. Municipal solid waste, which comes from street sweeping, and also sewage treatment plant waste, waste from schools and other institutions, domestic waste like a garbage, rubbish, paints, paper, glasses, old toys, old clothes, old foods, and also so many waste come from minings, like coal mining, strike mining. Also, as the agriculture is growing fast and fast, so the use of fertilizer is going on rapidly. From that, also so many waste coming from there. Hospital waste is also important today. As the hospital waste the most prominent today. So many waste come from there. Industrial waste come in the form of metals, plastics, rubber, leathers, which is very much hazardous for nature and water also. So e-waste now as the industrialization is going on, so many waste come from there. Like some of the things which I point out here. So industrial waste includes manufacturing, mining, coal combustion, oil and gas production. So here we can see in the slides that mining, like the majority of human activity and mining operation, produce waste materials. So we can see in the slide so many mining blasting is going on. From there, so many waste and pollution being generated. Also, after mining, so many gases in naturally comes from the mining, and also the crusher is the main source of pollution. And after making the product, so many wastes come from there. So the waste management is very much needed in the mining perspective. So the coal combustion, as the nowadays from coal, so many things we generate from there. Like from we generate electricity. So from electricity, so after that, so many waste generated from the factories in the form of bottom ash, fly ash, and from gypsum. So this waste is very much needed, and which need to be managed in the way so environment can be saved, and from waste we can reuse and make finance make our country in the progress. So many things there. So later on in the coming slide I will explain about this. So many waste we generate in the municipal waste. So here are the households, commercial and institutional activities. So here we can see in the picture so many waste we throw near the agriculture area, near the construction sites, below the bridges. So here we can see in the Noida and the Delhi, so many waste we can see very easily. So this need to be managed very well. So, and as the agriculture, as earlier I have said, the agriculture waste is also growing rapidly day by day. So as the government is pushing government is pushing to increase our yield, so the waste also will increase. So the agriculture waste include like a crop residues such as corn stalk, sugarcane leaves and nut sales, animal manure from cattle, and forestry residues. This kind of waste is increasing day by day, but the way it is increasing, the managing of this waste is very low, and so that's need to be managed very well. So also the one point is there, agriculture is growing as we know, but the excess fertilization fertilizing also is increasing. That's also harming our groundwater and river or ponds, and ultimately maybe we can eat less, but without water we can't live. So that is the point. So the thing is we need increase our agriculture product, but the excess fertilizer which is polluting our groundwater and surface water, that to be
Sir, you're not audible. Rakesh, sir.
Hello.
Now you're audible.
Hello. Okay.
Hello. Now you're audible, sir.
Okay. So next is the biomedical waste. So this biomedical waste generated during the diagnosis, testing, treatment, research, and production of biological product for human or animals. So this waste is going rapidly also. So the way the waste is increasing, so that need to be managed also. This hazardous waste, so as the concentration or chemicals and infection characteristics is rapidly we are using, so that need to be managed. So as the government also radioactive product and energy generating from radioactive materials is also increasing. So we know that radioactive chemicals also very high contaminated, and the impact of this material is very high. So this also is the point of our country. So the use of these radioactive materials and the management of this kind of radioactive waste is very much crucial. So next is the e-waste. As we know, the computer, office electronics equipment, entertainment devices, mobile phones, television sets, and refrigerator is very much nowadays in trend to use. So everyone want to use it, but the management of this waste is nobody cares. So this is the very much important. And nowadays, as we know that people and country is going to electronic means countries going to in the technological form. So the use of electronic devices going to increase, but the management of this kind of waste is and I think very low as much we are using it. So the management of this e-waste is very much important nowadays. So we see in the previous slides what kind of waste is there, but the impact of society is much bigger than as we see and as we thought. So the impact of waste in society is very much higher in the form of health and also in our climate, in the coastal and marine environment is very much impacting nowadays, and the socioeconomic condition also. So e-waste is in fact affect our health in the form of chemical poisoning through chemical inhalation, cancer, congenital malformation, neurological diseases, nausea and vomiting, increase in hospitalization of diabetes residents living near the hazardous waste site is now everyone is feeling this. So these are the human impact. The next, the effect on solid waste in the animal and aquatic lives. So say here in the picture. So generally we live in the center of the country, but as the we see the ocean life is very much impacting nowadays. So see the turtle and so many aquatic lives impacting nowadays. No, so so the increase in mercury level in the fish due to disposal of mercury in the river. So as the disposal is going to river ocean, all the aquatic life is changing biological way. So and the plastic found in ocean in diseases by the birds, and the result in the high illegal pollution in the river and sea, degrade water and soil quality. So the aquatic life is very much harmful today. So we need to be manage it, and we should look into it also. So the next is impact of solid waste in the environment. So what kind of environmental impact is happening due to solid waste? So the waste break down in the landfills to form the methane and potent greenhouse gases. So solid waste not only but in our globe, our also. So as the greenhouse to methane ozone layer is depleting, and we need to be very much cautious about this, because so many things we can revive is very much direct impact to us. When the, as we know that if we ozone layer vanishes, so how many the impact of this is ultraviolet rays is very much will be high. Okay, so next is the change in climate and destruction of ozone layer due to waste, and the solid waste changes properties of soil, air, and water, causing pollution. So if you see the global trend of the waste generation, so here the North America, here we can see the waste generation per person according to 2016. So how much per person is generating solid waste? So the North America is very high, and European country is very high. Australian zone is also high. If the South Asia where we live, so in the previously 2016 it is the 334 kg, and right. So now it is forecasted in 2050 around 661. It is so the today is 2016 or 2030. The forecasted value is. And trend we can see the 334 to 661, which is very high. So if the world trend is go that way, So one day it will come, so we cannot manage it as if we'll not focus today. So the waste generation in different city in India, if you'll see the statistics, okay, so in the Delhi, uh, we can, if you see the trend, tons per day, 1990 to 2000, the value of waste generation is 440. Okay, so 2004 to 5, it increased 5,922, and if we will see the statistics to 2015 to 60, it is 8,700. So if you'll see the trend 400 to 8,700 is very high. If you'll see the changes percentage is 2,175 percentage. That much of changes is going on rapidly. This is the scenario of single city. So if you see the whole city of the India, so how much the percentage change is going on, and this scenario is from 1990 to 2000, and the present scenario we can say. So as the waste generation is going on all over the India and the world, is very high. So we should think about that, and this is very much concerned topic. So if you will see the waste generation metric ton per day, this statistics presenting the metric ton per day in the city. So if you see the Maharashtra, it is around 22,570 total waste. It is the value is metric ton per day. So if you see the Tamil Nadu, 15,547. If you see the Uttar Pradesh, around 15,500. In the Delhi, only in Delhi, 10,500. This is the scenario. So we can imagine that what will happen in the future, and the future generation, what kind of problem they are going to face. These are some of the statistics in the perspective of India. Solid waste in India and hazardous waste 77.2 million tons. And if you see the statistic of the growth of the solid waste in India is from 1981 to 91 is 8.2, that increased very rapidly, and this waste, this growing of solid waste is very much increasing very day by day. So the previous it was 3,200 tons, and the present scenario is 5,355 tons. So that increased 67%. So in the future time also, if you can see in the chart, the land requirement from in 1997, it was around near zero. You can say in the future projection is in 2047 is around 1,400 kilometers square needed. So that much area we needed only for solid waste. Keep the solid waste in the land. So this statistic shows the where we are going and where we are heading it. So some of the things we need to think before generate the waste. We generate every day, in every time, we can say, when we eat, when we cook, when we buy, every time we generate solid waste, right? So here we can see how much time it takes to dispose it or degrade it. So organic waste, it takes only 1 to 2 weeks. Plastic, 1 million years. So that is the very much concerned topic. So when we generate waste, we think about these times, how much time it will take and going to take it. So the second thing is marine debris in the fishing line. It takes around 600 years to decompose it, and this is the scenario. So before create waste, we think about these statistics. We can live only maybe today average time is 55 or 65 years, but this waste which we are generating nowadays, it is going year to year to decompose it, right? So this is very much concern today. So how we can manage it? So solid waste management is the defined as a discipline associated with control of generation. So as we say, how we generate it: storage, collection, transport, transfer, or processing or disposal of solid waste management. So solid waste management is the entire process from generate to disposal. So how we can achieve it? So source management include planning, administrative, financial concern, engineering perspective, legal function also is the process solving problem arising from waste material. The primary goal of solid waste management is reducing and eliminating the adverse impact of waste material on human health, environment to support the economic development and the quality of life. So the function of or elements of solutions management there are 5 functional components of the solutions management as outlined below. So as we generate the solid waste, outside handling, storage, processing, waste collection, proper way of waste collection, what kind of waste we are generating, and how it is collecting, the very much crucial process. So then it transfer to sorry transport it sorry then how we manage it. So solid waste this is the solid waste management practices. So how we solid waste treatment is treatment we can process. The process of method are the available for management of soil includes segregation, reduction, reuse, recycling, and also chemical, biological, thermal conversion. So the segregation, as I have said, the segregation is very much important processing. So after segregation of the solid waste, we can process it in much efficient way. If the segregation we will not do, then the regenerating from that waste to something, it will not be happen. So the segregation is very much important. Then reduction is the most important strategy. So the way when the reduction generally the source of reduction is carried out when the products are designed, manufactured, packaged, used in a way that limit of the amount of toxicity of waste created. The second is the reuse, which is when the item is cleaned and the material used again. That is the reuse. The advantage of reuse of the solid waste that reduce the disposal needed cost, energy, raw material saving. That is the most benefit part, and also recycle, which means reprocessing of the disposal material into the new and useful product that saves the energy and conserve the resource. Also, the chemical processing is the way. So, through chemical processing, we can generate something from the waste. So, the chemical processing involves the chemical transformation of the or conversion of the organic function of waste into various useful compounds such as glucose, synthetic oils, gas, etc. So this is the benefit of chemical processing. The next is the biological processing, which involves the process like compositing and the products formed by these processes includes compound, methane, various proteins, alcohol, and wide variety of intermediate organic products. So through the biological process, we can generate so many things from the waste. So this process is very much important nowadays. So next is the compositing. It is the controlled biological composite of organic matter such as food and yard waste and into humus. So the composition in the natural process of rotting and decomposition of the organic matter by microorganisms under the control condition. The compositing is the process. So from that we can generate and we can generate the compost from there, and from that so many benefits we can gate. So the provide so benefits the compositing is the which provide the nutrients of the soil, increase the soil organs, and the protect soil from the erosion, or also the assistance to pollution of remediation. So that is the thing. So the next process is the landfilling. So so many sites for the disposal of the waste material. So from landfilling, we can use this waste material to fill the land which is need to be filled, like a sea, like a mining area, as the India generate coal for open coal mining. So that area need to be filled. But as the government policy is there, so the contractor and when the mining happened, so that land should be filled, but nobody cares about that. So this waste can be used as a landfill site. So this is the one of kind of use of that mining field. So also the waste material can be used to waste to something important. So how we can generate electricity from the waste? So waste come from there. We generate from waste after combustion and after combustion, and after that this waste from waste we generate electricity, and it go to environment. It go to environment too as a vapor or steam on clean fuel gases. So the waste we can use the waste to generate electricity, and after that the waste goes to air in the form of the water vapor, which is clean and not which will not hamper to our environment. Okay, so the most important thing, how do we manage it? So that we need the integrated solid waste management practices. So integrated solid waste management practices is the comprehensive waste collection, treatment, recovery, disposal method that aims to provide the environmental sustainability or economic affordability and social acceptance for any specific region. So the thing is, so we can manage our solid waste, but all the framework we cannot implement in any region. So the management practices should be a specific region wise. So we should because the people of as India is very big country, so in the single integrated solid waste management we cannot practice every region or every city. So we can manage it according to the region. So there are so many rules and which government make to handle the solid waste management. But according to reason, we can think we can create we can create the framework, so that can be implement in the region. So what is the how we can implement it? Integrated solid waste management: identify the needs, review the existing systems, review the existing regulation, what kind of regulation is there, organize the decision making framework. So organize the region wise or city wise, we can say, the decision making framework, established objective according to the region or the city or the places. We can establish the objective, identify the potential component, what kind of potential component is there, compare the options, then develop the integrated solid waste management plan, implement the plan. So according to the places, we can plan the integrated solid waste management plan, then implement it and evaluate the waste management system. So whether that whatever the integrated solid waste management plan we have generated, so according to places, whether it is going well or not. And then again to identify the needs. So it should be circle way. So not today we have plan the management system and just implement it years to years. No, that is not the way to handle the solid waste as the today or the city is rapidly growing. So the thing, the moral of this picture is we have to identify, we have to establish objective, we have to develop or redevelop the solid waste management plan and then implement it. And then again, we have to revise the existing system. So that is the integrated solid waste management. So the what is the lesson learned? The top level political committee as well as the interested and the committee of the local authority is crucial to be success of the project. So the thing is the local authority at the is the success of the project. The baseline data is useful, not available, that require considerable time and resources. So the without knowing the baseline data, we cannot implement or the create the solid waste management plan. The local project team is very much essential for the success of the solid integrated solid waste management project. So the local project team is very much essential for this. The stakeholders consultation provide vital information and greatly improve local ownership. So the stakeholders is the very much key component of this integrated solid waste management. Next is the benefit of the proper waste management should be looked into just from an environmental perspective, but economic and social benefits should also be factored. So the whole management, solid waste management, not only focus in the environmental perspective, it should be focused although also economic and social benefits. That is the main key of this integrated solid waste management plan. So the assessment of the current solid waste management practices, this is the key, as I have already had discussed this, but next again I am pointing out. So the assessment of the current municipal solid waste management practices, the assessment of the policies, regulation, and laws governing assessment of the policies, regulation, and the law governing and the authority level of the local and integrated solid waste management. The assessment of the population of the city, town, municipality must be considered and designed.
Sir, you are not audible. Please unmute yourself.
I'm not audible?
Audible. Now you
Hello?
are audible, sir.
Okay. So again, I'm audible right now?
Yes, sir, audible.
Okay. So so should I start previous slide or is it okay?
Sir, you can continue with your presentation for like
Okay.
10 seconds only you were unmute. Now you're audible, sir.
Okay, right. Thank you so much. Listen, okay. So the assessment of the current municipal solid waste management practices, it should be the assessment of the policy, regulation, and law governing a municipal solid waste management and the authority level of the local should be part of the integrated solid waste management plan. The assessment of the population of the city, town, or municipality must be considered in the design of the when we plan of this solid waste management. So the it should be planned in 25 or 30 years. Okay. So next is the identify source of municipal solid waste generation. household, commercial, street sweeping, cleaning, hotels, hospital, institution, park, garden, market, temples, and etc. So many places. So then estimate the quantity of the solid waste. How much the solid waste going to generate, and characteristic of the solid waste in the form of physical or chemical. So when we identify the physical or chemical, what kind of solid waste is generating on the particular place and city, according to that we can plan the current practices. Why the solid why is solid waste management is important? So as I have discussed, but in again I'm noting you all again, so which promote the public health. Okay, next that conserve the natural resources. And if firstly I am saying the promote the public health. So everyone want to be healthier and want good life, but if you not manage it personal way, it means day-to-day life in each and every moment, we cannot uh, take it, means we cannot be healthy. So solid waste management, obviously if you will take the seriously on the personal way, so it will increase our society health, our health, then society health, then city health. So this solid waste management will be very much important and crucial role for our health. Then second, the conserve the natural resources. So many of the material that end up in the landfills can be recycled and reuse. Recycling and reduce the need of new raw materials, and conserve the natural resources like timber, water, and minerals. These practices properties recycle and okay. So conserve the natural resources. So next is the reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. Solid waste in the landfill site can produce methane, potent greenhouse gases, and chemical changes. So that solid waste is very much sorry, solid waste is very much generating the methane, which is potential to greenhouse gases, which changing our climate. And also that next part is support the ecosystem. As we discussed, the solid waste is very much bad for us as the discussion going on, but we can use it very positive way. So if we will use it in the job, contribute to economy, and if you increase the economy, we can our country will go in the next level in the financial way. The recycling, such as manufacturing, agriculture, effect with waste disposal, and such as landfill fees and resale of the recycled materials. Important of solid waste management in economy. Waste management will not only save the natural resources, biodiversity and human life. It also impact the economy in the positive way, as there will be more jobs created for running and the efficient waste management system. In developed countries, waste is the disposed into garbage disposal sites, while in the developing economy, sorry, that waste usually end up on the street and vacant area. When this untreated waste is exported in the air, it causes environmental hazards and also impact the infrastructure. With this passage of time, waste management became more important, not just for the environmental protection, but also the growing industry for the economy. Businesses can save money by recycling the materials they produce, This would help decrease their waste disposal cost. Moreover, having knowledge about the different kind of waste and companies is creating would make it easier for them to find waste management services according to their needs and minimize their transportation cost. In addition to this, it helps environment sustainability by minimizing emission of greenhouse gases and preventing natural resources. When it turn promote the good image of the businesses, restaurant can give away usable food item to the needy instead of wasting it. So, so this is the one kind of picture. So we can say that this coconut shell, we can use it in the rock. So core making. So this is the coconut shell shading, and that recycle it into core making. This is the very small example of waste to something. So operation, what kind of operation we need. So this all kind of management practices we can manage in the policy maker and we can say the municipality policy wise, but also it is very important to increase the awareness, increase attendance in coastal cleanup activities and street cleaning. This type of activity or campaign is very much important in the solid waste management. So in the policy making, we can create the framework, but this kind of information campaign is also very much important. Okay, like support more tree growing activities. People should learn proper disposal of solid waste and initiate to clean up their surrounding. So this kind of campaign is very much important, which will grow the awareness to the people. So this is this seems like this thing, same thing. So there are some technological advantage. So being a remote sensing person, so I want to say some example how the remote sensing and GIS you can use in the solid waste management, right? So these are the site assessment of illegal dump site using the GIS. This dump site generally open the policymaker or anybody just throw it in the open space, but this should not be happened. So the GIS can be helpful to site selection where the dump sites should be there. Okay, so the site selection using remote sensing GIS can be helpful. So how? So the waste dimension area, we can using GIS GPS, we can track the area, how much area is covering all the dumping sites, right? So these are the maps through the satellite data. We can identify the disposal site or either illegal disposal sites. So also we can also measure the dwelling area, how much distance from dwelling areas that a deposit site is there. So we can directly measure the distance. So as we know, the dump sites should be far away from the dwellers areas, and also so many parameters also we can see. So we can check the grits, well and grits. So it should be far away from the well and grits or the water areas. So which should not be hampered from there. So if the dump site will be near the well areas, it will be contaminated. So this GIS can be, or remote sensing can be useful for this. So these contour lines also or the relief lines can be useful. Then we can also the integrated slope slope of the area. So when slope map we can use to identify the dumping sites. Okay, so visualizing the dump site in the 3D. So here we can see, so the disposal site in the near the roads, but the hills, this is the upper portion of the hills, but near we can see the river lines. So GIS can be very useful to identify the dump sites, right? So also we can integrate it with so many morphological parameters, so which can be integrated in the GIS form and make the suitable solid waste suitable map, suitable site where this should not be there, or where the suitable landfill site should be. So this kind of remote sensing GIS technology we can use for the solid waste management, or the site selection of the dumping, where the solid waste can be dumped. So these are the layers we can integrated, like uh, major roads, major wetlands should not be there, and residential area. The dumping site should be far away from residential area, and this should be far from roads, and this should be far from the ponds or wetlands. So this kind of variables we can add them in the remote sensing GIS framework. So we can we can identify the places where the landfill site should be there. So these are the also the GIS analysis for the solid waste collection management system. So we can generate the management system. So kind of methodology we can use. So here we can see the location of the garbage generation, where the garbage generation site is there. So you can see here, you can see the apartment, colony, park, market. So we can generate this kind of garbage collection points. So these are the maps you can see or the analyze where the bins density is there. So where we can, if the dustbin location is not far from the markets. So this kind of analysis we can see here. Also the tracking system we can see. So we can put this vehicle tracking system on the collecting trucks, and we can track it. So network analysis of the container lifter. So we can route that truck and identify their sort route where he can deposit from the particular collection of the site. So these can be done in the remote sensing GIS framework. So conclusion. So the GIS can help to classify the location of the bin, optimize the use of resources, or to optimize the route through the network analysis, help to save natural resources. Okay, then GIS provide utilization of resources and reduce expenditure on the fuel, cost effective in this case study. It also provide the decision support in case of changing in system, various indirect benefits served by the analysis of the restorative collection system. So this can be done through the remote sensing GIS system, right? So at the end, I will say that, so as the solid waste is increasing day by day, but the management of this solid waste is not that much efficient as this should be, as the population is growing and the population pressure is increasing day by day, like in the metro cities and the two-tier cities. But the management of this kind of solid waste is not growing day by day, right? So we should think about this, and we should plan according to the city, as I have discussed in the integrated solid waste management plan. So at the end, I want to say at the end that solid waste management practices should be revamped, redesigned according to the city, according to reason, and also the local people or the local people of that area should be should give the campaign to awareness, to increase the awareness. So according from that help only, that this solid waste management should be feasible in the proper way and can manage in the large scale. So the solid waste management, this should not be in the local way, that but also that can be actionable. So that remote sensing in GIS also the very much important to can be useful for the solid waste management. So I want thank you for this, and if anyone have any questions, please raise it. So if anyone ask something.
So we have two questions in our chat box for you. First question we have from Aanchal. She is asking, from your experience and expertise, what are the most common misconceptions or misunderstandings about waste management that you have encountered, and how can we address these misconceptions to foster better public awareness and engagement in waste reduction efforts?
Yeah, thank you for this question. And see, the misconception is that it cannot be managed. Most misconception. So people say that no, how as a single man, the misconception is that how single man can is managed. But the small scale management only the best efficient way to manage it, right? So if being a single person, I will say, so if I'll throw the chips packet in the dustbin, so what will happen? Nothing will happen. What if I will not throw it in the if I can say that if I'll throw it a single bag in the dustbin, or if managing the proper city, right? So that so every person is the responsible for the waste. Every person, if the every person can manage it, and if every person take it serious and the personal way, the solid waste management is it will happen, or it will clean our city. So if the everyone city, if we are living in the Noida, and as we can see the side of the river and the disposal sites, every day so many packets is throwing on the disposal site, but disposal bag is there, but everyone throw it in the outside of the disposal bag, right? But if you use the personal take it the personal way, and we will think in the environmental perspective, so everyone can manage it, right? So I think is that only. So everyone should take in the personal way, I think.
Thank you, sir. We have one more question. What are the current executive orders on waste management?
Sorry. Voice is hello. Can you repeat it again, ma'am?
Sir, what are the current executive orders on waste management?
Executive order. So the thing is, the executive order means what is the current management, solid waste management plant going into the city, right? Is this?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, Rakesh, it's means new and amended rules and regulations for the solid waste management.
So there is one question from Rushali.
Voice is not audible.
Okay. So I think you are facing some network issue at your end, sir.
Yeah. That is why.
So the question is in our chat box. From Rushali, we have that where can we implement integrated solid waste management, and can it be implemented in a small community as well?
Yeah, of course, why not? The solid waste integrate management plan can be implemented anywhere. According to place, it could be planned. The thing is the moral thing is that only any places can be can be done.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your insightful deliberation on waste management. And the topic of waste management is not only relevant, but also important in today's world and given the environmental challenges that we face. And your presentation has not only highlighted the challenges that we face, but also offered practical solutions and vision for a more sustainable future. And it is now our collective responsibility to take these insights to our heart and work towards a cleaner and a greener world. Thank you, sir, once again for your thought-provoking presentation. Thank you for taking out time from your busy schedule and joining us for the session. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank
sir.
you so much for having me.
Joining.
Thank you, Rakesh sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
Moving ahead, as we are gathered here for a significant event, a documentary screening and a discussion that promises to enlighten us on a crucial issue. So this event represents an opportunity for us to come together as a community and engage in thoughtful dialogue. The documentary that we are about to watch delves into a subject of utmost importance, shedding light on environmental challenges, innovative solutions, and the role we each play in building a sustainable future. It is a visual journey that will inform, inspire, and hopefully provoke meaningful discussions. And following the screening, we will have a privilege of engaging in a discussion led by experts in the field. And this is a chance for all of us to ask questions, share our thoughts, and collectively explore ways in which we can contribute to positive change. And the power of film lies not only in its ability to inform, but also in its capacity to ignite passion and drive action. So as we watch and discuss this documentary today, let us remember that each one of us has a role to play in preserving our environment for future generation. So let us embrace this opportunity to learn, to reflect, and take action. So without any further ado, let's begin our documentary screening, which is then followed by an engaging discussion that will bring us one step closer to a more sustainable world. So, Swati, please play the documentary with us.
New Delhi is the most polluted capital city in the world. The air quality is so bad that living here is equivalent to smoke.
I think the voice is not audible, Swati. Please
Yeah,
reach.
Swati, it's not audible. Reshare. Try to reshare it again. It was audible earlier. It's not right now. Yeah, it's audible now.
Okay, now it is audible and visible, Swati.
I have a few memories from all the Formula E races I did. Long Beach I won, Malaysia, the victory from Zurich.
Di Grassi goes around the outside of him. Here comes Di Grassi. He is going to make history.
Then we have season 4, season 5, season 3. Mexico win was the one I won this year. I overtook the first place, 20 meters.
Yeah, Swati started from the beginning. It'll be difficult to understand from here. Yeah. Start it now.
New Delhi is the most polluted capital city in the world. The air quality is so bad that living here is equivalent to smoking 10 cigarettes a day. As a Formula E racing driver, electric mobility entrepreneur, and UN climate ambassador, I want to understand why things are so bad. What is being done to improve the situation? And what lessons can be learned from those fighting air pollution on the front line?
I have a few memories from all the Formula E races I did. Long Beach I won, Malaysia, the victory from Zurich.
De Grassi goes around the outside of him. Here comes De Grassi. He is going to make history.
Then season 4, season 5, season 3. This Mexico win was the one I won this year, that I overtook the first place 20 meters from the finish line.
Here comes Verline out of the final corner. It's 0. De Grassi wins. Yes, perfect. What a mad end to the Mexico City E-Prix. It never fails to deliver.
I went sideways, crossing the finish line, crazy. My adrenaline in that moment was insane. And of course, championship winning trophy, which is the most important one, probably the best day of my career, one of the best days of my life.
In season 1, he was 3rd. In season 2, he was 2nd. And in season 3, Lucas de Grassi is the Formula E champion.
Great job, team! We are the champions! We are the champions! So great memories. I have a small die-cast of my World Championship winning car. Yeah, this was generation 1 Formula E. This was the first ever electric race car produced. To see this car actually being born and then being raced was super nice from a vision point of view, because I believed in it when nobody did. I always think it's a moral duty to use the knowledge that you acquire in your profession to try to make society better somehow. And I always struggled to understand how motorsport could make society better. Because in the end, like my mom used to say, you go around, 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 and you arrive in the same place. But really with Formula E was actually when I clicked and said, look, this is not only fun in motorsport, but it gives a direction for the future to showcase and to push technology towards not only a better future, but cheaper, increased quality of life, so air pollution and global warming, so more efficient ways of transportation, which means less CO2 footprint per person.
He's not a regular racing driver. He's really using his platform to explain his ideas to others. He's very interested in the world.
He wants to make a difference, making this world a better place to live.
I think UN and Formula E had a very good synergy, and since Formula E wants to be the benchmark for sustainability is concerned, UN was very close together with Formula E. They saw there was a good fit to have me as an ambassador, and for me also was an honor to be chosen and to accept to help them to promote and to act on these matters.
So Lucas is really concerned about air pollution. We bought a filter to put in the home. Now we have a baby who's gonna breathe this air. It's like, what can we do to, change it a little bit? And he's really concerned about the quality of the air that he breathes.
We have this device now. It's a flow air quality controller that measures PM 2.5, which is particulate matter 2.5 microns. Basically, you can fit about 20 of these particles in the width of a human hair. So very, very, very small particles that goes very deep into your lung. These particles are solid particles, so when they are in your body, they can cause a huge load of harm. These particles exist in nature, but most of them in a city are made by cars, combustion, electricity, cooking. Currently is measuring very low levels here. So we are at 19 PM 2.5. It's super reasonable. You understand that 9 million people die a year of diseases directly related to air pollution.
Since he joined the EU and he became much more aware He's like researching everything he can, watching all the documentaries that he can, and reading all the books and listening to audiobooks. And sometimes he comes and say like a statistic from out of nowhere, and it's like, how do you know this? So he never stops.
Yeah, over 1 million Indians die prematurely every year due to air pollution. Half of the children in Delhi have abnormalities in their lung. 50%. So it's huge. Having a child, I think, is very. I think it changes a bit your order of priorities. What do I need to do to create a better future for my son, which means a better future for humankind in general? We are very, very fortunate people. We have a very good standard of living. For example, I can install an air filter and keep Leo inside a closed environment if I want to. But most people cannot afford that. So the people will have the worst of this scenario in the future will be the less fortunate people and the people who really need the help the most. So for me, this is a key issue. And I think this is where technology can be so disruptive. It can create something which includes more people by being cheaper and better for the environment and for themselves. This is the tricky part. This is what we are all looking for to achieve. This is what electric cars will achieve and electric mobility will achieve in the future. I had first experience in India in 2008. I did actually a Formula One demonstration there, and there were like 100,000 people super excited. So the heat, the passion of the Indian people was awesome, but the conditions that I saw there, it was pretty bad.
I think he will see a shocking reality. I think this will be good for him to better understand the size of the problem that he is facing.
What I'm looking for is really to see live and feel what billions of people are going through in their day-to-day life, how deep is the impact that these technologies are going to have in their lives. In New Delhi, I met my guide, respected journalist and environmental campaigner, Bahar Dutt.
So I know this looks crazy, but it's actually, there's an order to this chaos where in the old cities that this market here is where a lot of the old cars get repaired.
So can I buy some parts for my Formula E car here or not?
I don't think so.
Each of these shops, they have very specific parts. It's like you have the clutch, you have the air conditioning, here you have suspensions. So the usage of parts until the very last mile. I'm actually looking at that damper I can use in one of my Formula E races.
You've come at a very interesting time right now because it's just the onset of what we call the air pollution season.
Okay. I don't really understand why air pollution is so bad. Is that because of power generation? Is that vehicles?
It's a complex answer. It's not any one cause, which is why finding the solutions is not easy.
Of course.
So whether it's vehicular emission, or it's our coal-fired power plants, or it's road dust, or crop burning.
We have a pretty interesting setup of electric cables here.
72% of our electricity demand comes from coal.
From coal.
And coal is extremely polluting.
So inefficient and pollutant, but it's cheap.
Exactly. A tough part of it is that a huge population will need access to energy. At the same time, there's also a demand from the Prime Minister. He said that we need to be a $1 trillion economy. How will all this growth be fueled? It will be fueled in the interim till 2030 at least by coal. So there lies the challenge.
So, this is a tuk-tuk, right?
Yes, it's the e-rickshaw as we call it.
And this is electric, right?
Yes.
Can we see the batteries?
I think so. I think the battery is inside. Battery dikhayenge.
So you have 4 batteries.
So one charging, he's able to do 80 kilometers.
80?
In just one charging.
How much it cost?
Around $2,000. Do you want to buy one?
No, maybe. Actually, it would be very cool around my hometown. He didn't choose an electric tuk-tuk because electric. He chose because the best cost benefit for him.
The thing with the tuk-tuk and the bicycle is it's being used by the poor,
Yes.
who were anyways using clean sources of energy, who were using public transport. The challenge is how do we get the people of Delhi who have 4 cars in one house to say, please give up your cars and move to public transport.
With over 10 million cars on Delhi's roads, it's a huge challenge to encourage people to move to cleaner forms of mobility. There's also another transport issue that faces India.
Typically, India moves through its trucks. The trucks carry all our essential supplies from construction to milk to vegetables. All these trucks run on diesel.
Yeah.
And diesel, as we know, emits a lot of PM 2.5. And as far as pollution is concerned, 28% comes from vehicles.
What's the legislation, the regulation about emissions trucks?
So all of them require a certificate which says pollution under control. But they're supposed to renew it once in every 2 years.
And they don't do it because it's expensive and you need to be on top of the technology.
I think what one should remember is, A, that they're poor people, B, that many of them spend their lives on these trucks. So they'll be sleeping in the truck itself every day, covering thousands of kilometers. And we forget that the truck drivers are also hit by the diesel emissions. So Lucas, I wanted you to meet Shanti. She's a rarity. She's a female mechanic.
Well, very pleasure to meet you. Tell me a little bit the story that brought you here.
अपनी कहानी क्या, जो हस्बैंड थे ना हमारे, वो काम करते थे, उनके साथ हम भी करते थे काम. हम लोग कर लेते थे, अम्मियाँ बीवी दोनों ही काम करती थी. और हमारे जो हस्बैंड खत्म हुए ना, उनको भी सांस की बीमारी हो गई थी. मिट्टी नहीं जाती थी मुंह में.
What about your health? How do you feel?
श्वास में देखो, ये उठना बैठना, इनमें जो में दर्द होना है, सांस लेने में दिक्कत होती है.
The aim is to innovative technologies bring the cost of transportation down and at the same time we decrease the amount of pollutants.
आप कर सकते हो, ऐसी बात नहीं है, आप कर सकते हो. क्यों? आप में हिम्मत भी है, पैसा भी है, तो आप लोग कर सकते हो. गरीब आदमी क्या करेगा? अगर उसको अभी इस टाइम पे अगर 2 रोटी मिल रही है ना, तो उसमें उसको तसल्ली है.
So are you hopeful about the future? Do you see any improvement?
नहीं, दिन पे दिन बिगड़ता जा रहा है. अभी कोई ठीक नहीं है, ना पहले ठीक था ना अब ठीक है. आगे देखो.
Thank you very much and good luck for your future and future of your kids. It's quite an eye-opening place to be. It's very good to sit and talk to people, understand their real needs. They are the worst in exposure to that pollution, and it's not even on the top of their priorities.
So a lot of times when, as environmentalists, we're suggesting, don't do this, don't do this. In India, we, I think, forget that everybody has a livelihood of it. So I think it's really important in the air pollution conversation to also bring in social issues and how it affects the poor.
And if technologies they don't make for a cheaper, more efficient way of, in this case, transporting goods, it will not be accepted by this population. But if it is cheaper to operate, people will start using it.
Okay, Lucas, we have to climb up a building today because there's something I want to show you. This is a sight to behold. It was meant to be a landfill, it's now a mountain.
It's the biggest mountain of trash I've ever seen in my life.
There's 3 more.
We have 4 of those,
Yes.
and the amount of production of garbage per day is...
Would be around 11,000 tons per day. And the poorest of the poor will end up there with their bare hands, picking up some of the garbage to recycle. The really poor people are exposing themselves every day to this hazardous waste. Remember, landfills also release methane.
Yeah.
So that's combustible, that catches fire. And again, all the people here, you're saying, they're inhaling all that. So the levels, just imagine how high it must be even on an average rainy day of the toxic
Yeah,
chemicals.
actually, I measured.
Very
I
high.
just measured. It was like super high. The people that are most affected by the pollution are the poorest because they eat, sleep, and work outside. Bahar knows a local family she wants me to meet.
Okay, Lucas, this is a typical community which would live by the roadside.
Hello, hello. Do you have your family? Do they have a lot of problems with respiratory?
कभी कभी ऐसा हो जाता है सांस सा फूल जाता है खांसी का इस लड़की को भी हो जाती कभी कभी मेरे भी हो जाता है
What do they use for cooking?
ये लोहे का काम करते हैं छेनी हथौड़ा गैंती फावड़ा
She's saying they smoke not just from the cooking, but also they're a blacksmith community.
Wow.
One of the big causes of air pollution is open kitchens like this, and the fact that also their occupation involves ingesting a lot of smoke.
Yeah, actually the cooking is the worst for PM 2.5. It's
Exactly.
actually worse than even the vehicles.
पढ़े लिखे तो है नहीं जैसा टाइम पास हो रहा है वैसे ही कर रही है कोई हमारे बच्चे ने पढ़ाते ना को और कुछ ना
पर आपको किसी ने बताया कि दिल्ली शहर में प्रदूषण बहुत
नहीं
ज्यादा है?
बताया
She doesn't even know that she's actually living in the most polluted city in the world.
What is the roadmap for the governments to help the families and the people in this state?
Politicians don't see it as something getting them votes. Maybe if she were to tomorrow say, I'm
Does
not
she
going to
vote?
vote for you.
क्या करेंगे डाल के जमीन तो कुछ फायदा तो है नहीं
So I think
वैसे ही रोड पे पड़े रहते हैं वोट तो जब डालना कोई हमारी सहायता करे जब
This is completely outside my reality, of course. For them, is much a bigger problem than ours, but it's still bottom of their list. These people, which are the most impacted, they are not able to stand by themselves and do anything about it. They depend on the air pollution, on the work, on their food, on their shelter. They have to live here. They have no choice. I just put myself and my son in this position, and it's a humbling experience. And you feel so sad just because you cannot do anything about it. There's so many people in such a poor condition. Technology can play a huge part in combating air pollution. And just a few miles from the overpass, there is an office building with some interesting innovations.
This is the golden pothos, which is also called the money plant in India. Very easy plant to grow, and it's great at removing formaldehyde from the air. No indoor place will ever have CO2 less than outdoors because human beings give out huge amounts of carbon dioxide. But here, because of the plants, the CO2 levels are lower than even outdoors.
In early 1990s, I became allergic to Delhi's air. We started this research on simple plants which converted CO2 into oxygen very effectively.
The Sansevieria, it's an indoor plant which gives oxygen at night and removes carbon dioxide at night. So if you can't have a proper filtration system for outdoor air and fresh air, then you put lots of these in the room and your carbon dioxide levels can come down.
And that one?
And that's the third one. It's part of the palm family. This is one of the best plants in giving oxygen during the daytime.
We clean up the air, we remove the volatile chemicals, we remove things like ozone, NOx and SOx, etc. It's a 35-year-old building and it can be done here.
What is this?
So this is a cooling tower.
For the air conditioning.
That's right, part of the air conditioning system. And we also use it for the air quality system where we're able to cool the air in the summertime down to 27 degrees when it's outside is 45 degrees without any air conditioning because of this cooling tower.
Evaporation of water.
Yes. There's zero artificial light.
This is sunlight.
Pure sunlight. So entire spectrum of the sun's light for photosynthesis is coming through here. The vacuum tube, so you touch it, it's not hot because of the vacuum tube and the mirrors which concentrate the sunlight through into this room. You see those leaves moving over there?
Yeah.
The air is coming through a mechanical filtration system. All the particulates from outside, all the gases are removed. They're coming into this greenhouse. The plants are getting that air. They're doing their magic. They're making oxygen and reducing the carbon dioxide levels.
Yep.
They're also removing the microbiological pollutants, the bacteria and viruses, and that's the root zone eats up the bacteria and the viruses, and the plants become even healthier because of that. And so from the other side then, it gets pulled out of this room and then goes into every air handling unit in this building. So every person in the building gets a little slice of the greenhouse, a little slice of the
fresh air.
Of the fresh air.
Very nice. What is the bottles for?
We run a business center over here, and a lot of our clients don't want the filtered normal water that we have. They want bottled water. We're a zero waste facility over here. So all the waste is taken, the dry waste is separated, the bottles are taken, and we make planters out of them.
So fresh air, the water, zero waste. After coming to this building, I feel very bad. I need to improve my standards. It's basically a human right to be able to breathe clean air. And what has been done here, what is incredible is that it is a full circle, and then this is so easy to be implemented. If it could be done here, it could be done anywhere. The Center for Science and Environment is looking at ways of bringing about change at a national level.
In a developing world like India, environment is not about pretty trees and tigers. It's about the connection between survival of communities and sustainable use of natural resources. Now we are at that turning point. We are seeing citizen science emerging here, people going around with their sensor monitors and seeing what they're breathing. This conversation is moving action a lot more. This last decade, this city has shut down 4 coal-based power plants. Delhi has banned all the dirty fuels. But even after doing all these are not small measures. We still have to reduce our pollution levels by at least 65% to meet what we define as clean air.
And how do you see technology playing a part?
Technology has played a dramatic role. This is perhaps the only major vehicle producing country in the world from after reaching the Euro 4 emission standards that will skip Euro 5 and go direct to Euro 6 just in 3 years. And you must have seen this, what we call the e-rickshaws.
Yeah, I've ridden in one. I almost died, but in the end, I said to the driver that he has to come and race with me in Formula E.
So by 2030, all new vehicles to be electric. That's huge ambition.
And in Brazil, they want to start discussing about electric mobility in 2030. So hearing that actually makes me very proud of these policies from the Indian government towards electrification of mobility in general. You're dead? It's very different when you have a life like this. It's very easy to say, okay, let's fight air pollution or this or that, but when you go there and you see the reality and see that the problem is so much more complex. The biggest challenge that I see in India was how to create economic growth in a sustainable way. Everybody is breathing the same air, but most people suffering are the poor people. I think the adoption of electric cars will change society for much better, but we cannot just regulate and mandate people should drive electric cars. It will need to be cheaper than current technology, so it's accepted. We are already getting better off that we were on the 70s, 80s, or 90s. Even there in Delhi, they are ready with good policies, taking coal out, other forms of producing more sustainable mobility and power generation. It's a process. If you have the opportunity and the chance to push technology forward in terms that will make society better, you should do so. We already used motorsport 7-8 years ago to create Formula E, to push electric. This is, for me, very clear. It doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter which country for, how much money you make or who you are. I think you should be trying to make society better. There is a duty for that, for them, actually.
Thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey. And participants, we would like to remind you of the importance of completing the assessment link that is provided in the chat box and ensuring that your attendance throughout the course. So please make sure that you complete the assessments that are associated with this course, and regular attendance is also important for your overall learning experience. So I've shared the assessment link in the chat box. Please make sure that you complete this assessment. So ladies and gentlemen, as we draw the curtains on this enlightening session, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for your active participation and valuable contribution throughout our event today. It has been an enriching experience, and your presence has made it all the more meaningful. And the documentary that we watched and the insightful discussion that followed have left us with a deeper understanding of the environmental challenges that we face and the solutions that lie within our grasp. Your questions, thoughts, and engagement in this dialogue have been truly inspiring. And I would like to express our sincere appreciation to our distinguished speakers, Dr. Monica Kaul, Dr. Pranata Hazra, and Mr. Rakesh Saur, for sharing their expertise and insights with us today. Your knowledge has ignited our passion for environmental conservation, and we are grateful for your time and expertise. I also extend my thanks to the organizing team, our partners, and all those who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make this event a success. Your dedication and hard work have not gone unnoticed. Finally, a special thanks to our audience for your unwavering support and enthusiasm. Your commitment to creating a sustainable future is evident, and together we can make a difference. So as we leave here today, let us carry the knowledge and inspiration that we have gained during this event forward. Let us be the change makers and the advocates for a greener and more sustainable world. Thank you everyone once again for being a part of this important event, and we look forward to our continued collaboration in our collective pursuit for a better tomorrow. Over to you, Dr. Juhi.
Thank you so much. I think everybody must have enjoyed the documentary, must have realized the importance of the issue. We expect that we would be able to do our part in controlling the pollution level. Obviously, that was majorly focused on the air pollution, but obviously there were instances which were reflecting a lot of amount of waste that is gathering in different locations. So I would request each and every one to please focus on your part, rather than just, we cannot just keep complaining about the issues in the government and systems just because a handful of people cannot control everyone, a population that's more than 150. So which is why I would like to stress upon the main thing, and I would be very happy if we can do our part. So yes, Renu ma'am, can we close the session now?
Yes, ma'am, I think we can close the session.
Yeah, somebody is asking for the assessment link again. Just share the.
I'll share this
chat
again.
Yeah, it's available in the chat, so you can just go up. Yeah, it's shared again. So yeah, let's close the session.
Let's just wait for 5 minutes till everyone completes the assessment, and then we can close the session.
Yeah, we can just wait here for the next 5 minutes, and then Moveen sir, you can close the session afterwards.